evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once more to the 1-0 bracket in the Swiss stage of none other than Mythic Showdown Season 2, presented to you by War Drum Games. This will be me, your caster Sarah, for the first game of tonight alongside Zevo. And the first game, Zevo, it's going to be between none other than SA2L versus Sacred Shrine.
Sarah, very excited for this match. I think we can say it is the matchup of the century or the decade, right? Decade or the century, because we know how both the teams are with each other, and I think everyone is excited when we saw these two teams getting matched up, right? So, we can just say both the teams are gonna be having it all out, and just giving it their best.
Like, the matchups itself are so insane. It's anti versus rom-com onto the EXP lane, the two best EXP laners of India. We're gonna see who executes it better. And onto the Rom, it's Apex versus Art. Serarmon versus Jay, Bid versus Asana, Radium versus Fade. Like, absolutely the clash of the decade or century, like you mentioned, definitely. Sacred Shrine currently a LAN champion, literally having won so many LAN tournaments recently, and SA2L, the ones who won the LAN last year but have finally come back after their little break right into the Mythic Showdown, and this is going to be a fight to move up to the 2-0 bracket. Whoever moves up to the 2-0 bracket needs to win only one more game to go into the round robin stage, so definitely a match we were all waiting for.
Yep, both the teams won the 1-0 bracket, so we can tell that these two teams are really great. And of course, we don't need introduction for both the teams, right? Everyone knows how good these two are, and we're just excited to how these two are going to be playing. But as of now, let's discuss how both the teams play against each other. And their playstyles are a bit different, right?
It is different indeed. SS, they definitely love the kind of team fight. Like, they started off with the pick-off somehow if Art decides to pick up on the Kalia. Otherwise, they love the team fight. They go in for the brawly fighters on both the side lanes. They go in for Akimi into mid, Yes and Shin into the jungle. And then, of course, Art with his pocket pick, like you mentioned last time, the Minotaur. Recently, the patch has been so good on them. So, of course, SA2L needs to watch out for a lot of things into the draft tonight. While SA2L, they themselves have a very standard draft, I would believe. They love to play around some heroes. They do love to experiment too. However, they play to their strengths. It's a matter of strength versus a power of team fight into their hands, I would like to say. And not only that, Sacred Shrine somehow manages to turn things around a lot, while SC2L are the ones who might be losing the early game, but they like to come back towards the late game. That is what I have noticed personally.
Mm-hmm. Most of the time, depending on the team, they like to, change tactics a bit. So, considering that they are against this, kind of betting on that they would but not that much that they would get picked off by SADU themselves, right? It is quite a crucial matchup for both the teams as they have known each other for a long time, so they can just know what their weaknesses are, and they've definitely done their homework because they would want to move up to the 2-0 bracket, which is gonna be giving them the upper hand in this Swiss stage as well. So we have to see. But first pick in the hands of Sacred Shrine and SA2L, they do have the server advantage, so
Yeah, I get it. And honestly, the fact you mentioned that they know each other for a long time, it's more of the rivalry between these two teams. Like, sure, they are very civil with each other out front, but on the inside, I believe both of them are just dying with rage, blinded by rage to just get the victory against each other. So, of course, that's there. And jumping into the draft table, we can already see the Grok and the CC getting taken out by Sacred Shrine, while SA2L takes out the Lapu as well as the Esmeralda, the two favorite picks of Sacred Shrine. And since this is a dangerous grass map, I can definitely see a Hilda pan or pick into the first phase itself very soon. And for the third bans, of course, what do you think it's going to be?
For their third ban, I would say they would be targeting the mages, the mid laners as of now, since they do have that, they have the upper hand in the current meta, and they are quite the carry for the teams. So maybe they would wanna ban out all the pocket picks, but I do like that they ban out Art and Escalade altogether. Would not want to give the upper hand. Same with the Esmeralda and the Lapu, as you said. So of course, but Bit, he does get his comfort pick though, that Kimi. So SA Duel, they are kind of forced to play a bit aggressive so that they do not give the advantage on that Kimi, right?
And you know what? Anti here instantly locking into the Yuzhong while Jay goes in for the Yi Shin. Both of them decent picks against the Kimi, but it's Bid on Kimi, and Bid's Kimi is technically auto win for Sacred Shrine. They love to play around him so much, and it always works out. And this also confirms the theory that they are definitely looking to go for a double fighter comp. So we will have to see how that one works out. And Romcom on the Arlot. So it's going to be Romcom signature versus Anti's signature. Arlot versus the Yuzhong now. This is going to be so exciting. While Artorio definitely locks in onto the God of Kata pretty early on, Apex here would be left with a few options, though he does have the Hilda into his hands. He has, what was the hero's name? Khalid. He has the Khalid too. But the question is that which one of them are they gonna try and pick up? They instead let Asuna get his Lunox early on, waiting for the second phase to get their gold lane as well as mid. Same goes for SS though, but they leave the jungler and the gold lane picks to be up for the second phase. So on for the bans now, we'll definitely see some fighter bans coming in from the side of SC2L and Sacred Shrine both.
Yeah, so basically the plan for SS would be these three main picks since they picked up their comforts all together. They would want to, just go for the comfort and also their signature picks rather than wait it out for SA Duel to pick up the hero so that they can counter it out. So of course, as of now, I think they would want to ease out on Ben Satoru a bit. Because he does have quite the flex around the jungle picks as well, and mostly the target would be to go after Asuna and the Lunox altogether, because let's be honest, the damage coming in from Lunox is really hard to deal with, especially even if you have three rock hard things in the front line. She just melts them quite a lot. So the main point would be Asuna, followed up by Yuzhong, by the Wisest. But then again, we have Anti on the Yuzhong as well, so you would want to be protecting Kimi into the backline as well. So of course, they would be banning out the Khalid to reduce the chances of Kimi getting poked around. But as you said, they still have a Hilda, so the question would be, would they ban both the Khalid and the Hilda altogether, or would they just leave her out? Because those two are really aggressive, and given that the map is dangerous grass, Hilda does have quite the advantage there.
And the Hilda is one of the most justified bans on towards the SS last ban, but here SHUL, they did leave out the Lancelot as well as the Fanny, and Fan, he is pretty good on both of those. He even has the Fredrin if he wants to pick it up. He Also does have the Lucas if he wants to pick that up into the jungle, but we'll have to see what he actually decides to go in for. An assassin would definitely work well against the Ascension, especially something like the Lancelot, which Van is so good at. So we'll have to see what they decide to go in for, while SS have decided to leave out the Hilda and go in for the Ruby pick for themselves. This would mean that they are playing with a bit of fire here, because Apex, he loves the Hilda pick these days, especially into the dangerous grass map. So we'll have to see if he decides to go in for that, or is he gonna wait it out for the last pick for himself and let Radium get the gold pick up now.
Yeah, honestly, banning out the Ruby as well, right? It is kind of giving Fate the comfort because you do not get poked around by Ruby quite a lot. So it gives him that freedom of having not getting poked out. But we see Uranus still onto the EXP. Oh wait, we got Yuzhong already. So kind of a flex pick as well might be into the roam position because Uranus can be flexed out, but the possibility of a gold lane Uranus is not quite bad as well, given its SAQL. Same with the Yuzhong as well. So what would Sacred Shrine go for right now? When Satoru on Guinevere jungle this time? Most probably as either just giving, oh my goodness, they took a Ranger as well. So comfort pick for Faith. But it's not a fighter. That means they have two squishy backlines to protect themselves.
In fact, even like towards the early to mid phase, both Guinevere and Arlott are pretty squishy too. So that is one thing SATL will have the advantage in towards the late game, because if Anti gets a Petrify onto 1 or 2, Lunox could just burst them out. So that's the only downside of picking up 2 marksmen for your mid and gold. However, of course, it's Bid and Fate's comfort, but look at Apex, man. I know we both laughed at the same thought, so yeah.
Oh my goodness. The picks from SADUL, it's so much, oh my goodness, the front line and the back line all secured by SADUL as well. But for Sacred Shrine, it's looking a bit squishy, as you said, right? So we can say they are gonna be playing it a bit safe, while SADUL tries to go for the little bit of that aggressive lineup. But you know, it's a Minotaur that they have to pick up on those anti-heals quite early, not to mention it is paired up by Yuzhong and the Uranus all together. So quite itemization priority is in the line as well for their side.
And both the drops, honestly, I am loving both of these very much. Like, oh, SS, it's such a standard and good drop for them. They love to play around the Kimmy and the Granger. And then there's Van looking for the setups the moment the AOG lands onto the hands of SATL. But SATL as well, those surprise picks, just way too interesting tonight for me to not compliment them, because wow, that is a very interesting draft. You've got 2 fighters who can keep healing on in the team fights, and then you add in a Minotaur on top of that. Like, dang. That is something fun to see, because this, ladies and gentlemen, like we told you, this is the matchup everyone has been waiting for. And if things go according to the scene currently in the community, this might as well the matchup we see into the grand finals of the Mythic Showdown. So of course, with that, welcome to the land of dawn, the match for everybody to remember. And oh, we'll just like to add, there are giveaways for the audience today. If we reach 300 concurrent viewers, we are going to be giving away 100 diamonds to 10 winners. And if we reach 500 viewers, we're going to increase the 10 to a 25. So make sure to like, share, subscribe, and invite your friends to the stream tonight.
Yep, we're currently at 222 and counting. So of course you just, you know, who not wants those 3 diamonds all together, right? But back to the matchup. We can just term this as a matchup of the century. A little bit glimpse of the grand finals that we'll have of this Mythic Showdown altogether, you know. Still a lot of progression starting from the mid lane And already Asuna caught low, but they would still be surviving that.
True. Quick little early aggression. Of course, it's bid on the Kimi. I told you that man is to be trusted with his life for that Kimi pick. So of course we are gonna be seeing a little bit of aggression. Oh, okay, we can see that definitely. However, they're just gonna be making it out alive. But the mid control definitely into the hands of SS for now.
Definitely. And emblem priority. It seems like Van is just planning to go for a full magic rather than a bit of sustain. So the sustain would probably. Oh my goodness! Apart from
Anti?
that antidote.
Easy burst
Already.
coming in. Easy burst from Van Satoru right there. But is SS gonna retaliate? Are they gonna go in for more? Artorio tries to look for the taunt, misses it. Oh, Apex getting melted though. One shocker lands onto two, but Van is gonna get the kill easily onto Jay right there.
Quite the priority right before the turtle. Good skills landing on with the Violet Requiem all together, which means it gives them the chance of taking the turtle without even getting a contest from the side of SADUL. Sacred Shrine really off to a great start for now.
Definitely. And SC2L do need to realize that their main damage source comes from the Lunox and the Ascension. So for that, they need to open up space for Jay to farm up as much as possible. Things would look very difficult though if Bid or Fate get some early kills because they cannot be stopped once they start to snowball. So converting that, SHUL definitely needs to take it slower. They need to look for pickoffs in the early game because that is the best they can do. Until and unless something like this happens, and Asuna is forced to pop off on the Brilliance while Anti gets absolutely bursted down right in matter of seconds along with Apex.
Really good follow-up coming in from the side of Sacred Shrine, not leaving any one of them single throughout the whole map. One is there, they have the follow-ups all together. But look at that Vensatoru though.
Oh, did miss out on the jump, but Jay here does not have the damage yet. Radium getting a bit chunked down. Fate already has the Sky Piercer, and if Radium makes a little mistake, he's gonna get bursted down because of the Rhapsodies hitting perfectly on point. But both the teams decide to disengage for now.
Certainly they need to disengage as of now. But looking at the gold ranking, Vensatoru, he does have the top gold as of now. Given that he is a jungler as well, he's not going to be struggling with the builds even a little bit. But Rom-com out here.
Oh, good engage coming in from both the teams with the Black Dragon into the back line. And Fury saves Apex's life though. Revitalized from Art right there. Ronco tries to go in with the lot but has to back off because no team decides to go in for a full-on engage as the turtle is already going to be up in a second.
Yep, certainly second turtle up for the grabs all together. And this time, once again, Vensatoru out there.
Oh, the final flash coming in from Rom-com right there. Absolute demolition coming in from the side of Sacred Shrine. Van, free access to the turtle while the rest of them destroy the tier 1 onto the mid lane. Completely taking control of the map right under 5 minutes. 6-0-0. This is something amazing from the side of Sacred Shrine.
And almost a 4k goal lead in their hands already.
Wow.
Taking the mid tier is already a huge achievement. You get that liberty of going around through the whole jungle more freely. Looking at the itemizations as well, most of the first items have been taken out, but out here.
Orman engage. Oh, Van gets melted down though. Anti with a quick little petrify play coming in onto Van. But Radium here getting the same mirror rotation on his pace. But him being a Uranus might just be able to tank it out and defend the tier 2. While SHUL looks for the tier 1 up onto the top lane. However, Sacred Shrine here definitely has the turret advantage. 2 turrets on the mid and bot secured by them while they are trying to look for more definitely. And again, Art with the play. Asuna has to pop out the Brilliance here, but he cannot really make it out alive. Traction Beautify comes in from Asuna, not gonna be enough. Triple knockup from the Minnow and Fury, now a 4-1. Anti finds Fate into the backline. Jay getting forced out by Artorio, but Anti's still looking for something more. Radiant tries to go in for Rom-com, but will have to back up. There's no damage dealer on his side. Can SA2L come back back from this. They cannot. Radium gets chunked down by Romcom as well as Bid.
Honestly, for the side of SADUL, their comp is a bit mid to late already. So knowing that Sacred Shrine, they are taking full advantage of the early game into their hands, not giving Sacred SATUL the chance to even get around. But Venzatoru out here trying to, oh my goodness, 1-for-1, still following up. And the Violet Requiem takes him out as well. But looking at the heal ranking, of course, it's gonna be a Uranus that's gonna be healing quite a lot, but top lane as well, right? Complete domination from the side of Team Sacred Shrine, not giving SA Duel the chance to even get back onto their own feet. The gold lead is almost 5.5k, and third turtle is up for grabs once again. Still not even letting Jay take the farm, Sarah.
Obviously, like I told you, they need to create space for the Ascension. They need to give him the time to farm up. It's 7 minutes and he's at a level 9, I believe, and that is not good for Ascension to be in. He should have been at least a level 12 or 13 had the farming gone smoothly, but of course not. Romcom Art, they are just so in their faces all the time, giving Fate the space and Bid the space, and like Bid hasn't been taken down even once despite there being a Ascension and the Trident. So that goes to say a lot about the fact that SS are completely dominating this game as of right now, and they need to keep doing this if they want to end it under the 12-minute mark.
Honestly, after the 12 minute, you never know when the item spike just comes in, right? The power spike from the side of SAUL as well. You would never know when it just starts to hit, and it would probably be a little bit too late to recognize that as well. But in the meantime, they are trying to pop out one more tier turret onto their hands, but Fade out here. Okay, still he does have quite the mobility, so he would still be safe, and I like that he's keeping a safe distance as well. Still, SADUL, they want to force a team fight out, but they can't really.
Oh, but look at Anti though, he's trying to go in and find somebody. Radium though already very low, can't mark down anyone. Petrify on the Bid, Anti trying his best, but the damage from Faith and Bid is too much for him to handle while Faith takes down Anti. Van is gonna find Jay and Apex in the back line, and now Jay is down, taking down my Romcom. Faith finds the double onto Radium, and now the triple onto Asuna, a full-on wipeout. Just before the Lord comes in, Zewo. This is Sacred Shrine, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, honestly, even look at the goal difference as well. They are quite in the lead, even have the bounties in their hands. So one mistake, and it might be a game turner for the side of SHUL. But right now, even the Holy Shields have been popped off, and SS would be looking to go for the Lord as of now, keeping it a bit low profile as they try to force out SADUL from their base as well. But Bit, the wingman, as of now, 8 assists in his hands, not a single targeted, but still looking at the itemizations as well. Most of them are halfway through out, and the Lord just got melted out quite easily. So a really huge goal difference, almost 10k, and SADUL still trying to have their way out, but Romcom,
oh, bit of a danger there. Romcom gets taken down, but that's a 5-man engage. All resources getting used up. Apex getting melted now. The backup is here from the side of SS, and Apex is forced to flicker out. But there we go. Van Tucker with the engage onto Radium. Can he make it out alive? Thankfully, he does, because the Lord is on its way, ladies and gentlemen. The first Lord of the game. Can SA2L defend their inhibitors, or is SS gonna take them down in a matter of few seconds?
oh, that is something that we are looking quite forward to as well. Lunox out here with her second item, we can say, almost not counting the boots, but oh, Benzadoru.
Oh, definitely finds Radium there. The traction pulse as well. Brilliance getting used up by Asuna early on. Satoru looking for more, though. He's trying to go in. A very deep engage coming in from the side of SS. The base is wide open. It's getting chunked to half. Can SAQL defend this? No, they cannot. The Dino Slash and the Rhapsody with Death Sonatas. Fate and Romcom end things once and for all. The victory belongs to Sacred Shrine as they move up to the 2-0 bracket.
What just happened?
Wow.
Actually, what just happened? That was a complete domination of a game. 16-5 score. Or, that too in the early. Not, it wasn't 11. They ended the game at 11:00 sharp altogether. Did not even reach the 12-minute mark. And as it well, they were so dominated from the early game that they were not able to even take back a stand.
Obviously, I told you, Art was mad, and he showed why he was mad into this game. Of course, MVP for the man here. Right away, player of the match. We can see amazing frontlining, nearly 70% of teamfight participation, and of course, keeping his team alive. While the rest of them, Bid definitely wingman for a reason. 10 assists, 7.3k goal, just 100 behind of Van, who's the jungler. While Fate, of course, leading with 10k gold into his hands, does have the kills, but the MVP definitely belongs to Art tonight. Well, on the hands of SCTL, they couldn't really do much. That the Uranus pick onto the goal lane didn't work out exactly as they had planned, so they'll have to come back with a better plan because they are moving down to the 1-1 bracket where things are just gonna get harder and harder for them.
The more you go down, the harder it is for you to get back up. But the thing was, I was expecting a bit of contest from the side of S8UL that we did not see. It was just full domination from the side of SS. Not to mention Fate on that Granger. He got an 811 KDA in this economy where fighter is more likely to have the spotlight altogether. The amount of rotation that this guy was giving and the amount of damage that he was dishing out, you can't really say it's not his game anymore. But I like that most of the stands got taken up by Artorio and Romcom altogether. They were so much aggressive that they did not need any one of them to even have rest of the aggression onto their side. Van, he was able to breeze through all the whole jungle because of all of the objectives that the whole team was playing all together. Still, I do like 18-3 score. 18-3. That is not something that we are gonna be joking about.
It's just honestly crazy. I believe that it was mainly just Apex trying to look for the few setups which he could into the teamfight situations, but there just wasn't enough damage to be backed up for him because of the fact that Artorio was constantly onto Jay and Asuna's base. Like, they wouldn't let Jay go in for the engage like they would like to. So of course, that is why he's the MVP, guys. Remember this man's name, Artorio. He comes with a mission and he completes it, while on the EXP lane as well. I believe the Arlot was just superior. No matter what you say, the Arlot just worked out better for the side of Sacred Shrine. So of course, that is why they definitely dominated 18-3, 11 minutes and 1 second. And there we go. Radium, despite taking that much damage, of course, he can't tank two fed marksmen all by himself. So of course, Sacred Shrine, very deserved victory right there.
Yep. Honestly, given that it's a Uranus, he did really well on being the sandbag altogether. Apart from that, the amount of damage that SS was dishing out was really justified, But still, I do love that this game, the way it just ended out, most of them, it was, because of the draft as well. Early, they just gave Bit his comfort altogether, followed up by Arlot as well. Romcom and Arlot. So, two of the comfort picks. That just makes a huge difference rather than going for the counter picks altogether. So you have to be a bit more careful as well. The S8UL, they might have been underperforming a bit, according to me at least. It did not feel like they were trying much altogether. But it's just the start of the match, and we just got a little bit of glimpse. Still, congratulations to SS for moving up to the 2-0 bracket, though.
Clean streak so far. Might just make it up to the round robin stage just like this. The next one would be a BO3 for them. So all the best to them right there. While SA2L still needs to get 2 more victories. The path is gonna get harder because the teams down in the 1-1 bracket are gonna be out for blood. So of course, we'll see how that one goes. And for the chat and the audience tonight, we are going to have a 1,000 diamond giveaway, 10 winners of 100 diamonds each. So stay tuned. We are gonna be back with game number 2 very soon. This was me, Sarah, alongside Zewo, and we'll be taking our leave.
Well, we had an amazing match before this, and now
Okay. Okay, now welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Mythic Showdown Season 2, powered by War Drum Games. And here we are for the second game of the night in the Swiss stage, day number 4. And talking about Swiss stage, day number 4, this is 1-0 bracket we are talking about. All the teams have won
Mhm.
their first game, and now they will be clashing with each other. And the first game was literally a big one. We can say that it might be the finals of Mythic Showdown Season 2, because the both the teams are the topmost teams of India. One is SATUL, another one is Sacred Shine. But Sacred Shine didn't just won the game, the victory as a, you can say, as a trophy or as a treat, whatever you can say. But here we are for the second game at the War Drum Games, and this is RNTX versus Team Noctura Esports going head to head. And me, STZ, will be joining with Shinryu. Hello, Shinryu. Are you there?
I hope I'm there, Ash, because if I'm not, then you're gonna have a very hard time, isn't it? So hey, I have to be here with you. So again, we are back finally once again, another day, another chance for us to cast again. But this time, two different teams. It's not gonna be SATUL versus Sacred Shine. It's gonna be RNTX versus Noctura, which Ash has already mentioned. But I just want to double check that our viewers are thorough about it. But hey, better one once again. It's gonna be tough, right? They do not get a second chance, meaning that the early game, if one team very good, dominance, it's pretty difficult to get back, the lead once you lose it in this meta, isn't it?
That's what happening. Like, if you're taking out those tiers or the turtle, you're literally winning the game. But there is a hole as well. We have seen Venom Esports doing that wondrous play against RNTX. So, I mean, I can't say that because this is the RNTX, the same RNTX, and it's Noctura playing against them. They already won matches, and now we're going a little bit deep into the Swiss stage. And whenever we are going into deep, we will be finding more buoyancy, more like more opportunities with more competition. So the competition will be high, and these two teams will actually need to prove themselves at this stage, because it's like you're not gonna want to go into that 1-1 bracket. You really want to go into the 2-0 bracket. So of course, like,
Yeah.
why not having the cake? Why to go back to have some cupcake?
I mean, see, you're absolutely correct because moving on towards the 0-2-0 bracket would definitely give the teams a lot more, head start. Not even head start, but a advantage that they would rather not have in the 1-1 bracket, of course, because to the 2-0 bracket you will get the direct slot. If you get 3-0, then you can directly move to the round robin stage, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be much more important for these teams to actually just go straight towards that, because the longer they drag it, more games they have to play, the more strategies they have to actually put on the line.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, you're totally right about it. And talking about the team composition from the side of team RNTX, they do have all those big names added. Witch is there, and the God, Miria the Creator, so do two new names into their lineup, that is Joseph and
Yep.
Afred, of course. And from the side of Noctura Esports, a whole new change. Just Sarar Moon is there. After the rebranding, the team is right now really into the game, and it is Kimmy into the Rome. Kyle, the gold standard, will be there playing against Aaron the Creator, which is right now known as the present gold standard. So it's like the former versus the present. And so do in the EXP lane, it will be Haruka versus Haruka versus Mirio the
Mirio.
Creator, the
Yep.
playmaker. Debbie always say that Mirio is the playmaker. I always say he's the star boy because he actually give that opening to his team. And last time he was in a CC. This time I would really want to know what he want to opt. But as per the meta going in, the patch going in, it is really favoring Kimi out there with his hero pool. Gatot Kacha, he's a Gatot main. He's a Kalea main. He do play the Khalid. He do play the Minotaur as well. So all these heroes are right now buffed in the Rome scene. But now we are heading into the draft section. Shinryu, can you please put your eyes on it and give some insights what is going on in the draft? Because it's gonna be a mental exercise for the players, for the casters, for the viewers as well.
Absolutely. Let us walk through the draft in this game because, the main factor would be enabling the EXP lane first, then the jungle for most of these teams. Because if you get the EXP lane a good one, if you get the mid control with your a good duo, you will have a lot more advantage going into these games. Therefore, banning out the CC, banning out the would be very important for you to actually just either prioritize the Lapu Lapu that can actually be flexed very well because right now it is the double fighter meta. You're not really just gonna have fun with the marksman so much because it's so brawly right now, isn't it? Because you look at the game, it's just fights and fights and fights every minutes into the game. So because of that, I feel the teams would rather to settle for a very good EXP lane and a very good control mage onto the mid lane. Maybe the Kimi, maybe the Zushin, or perhaps sometimes if they like to go for the Farsa, that too, alongside that Eve also makes an entry. So those heroes will be prioritized, but again, like you mentioned, this meta will be favoring Kimi a lot more hero pool. Therefore, I think the first pick could come either as a Grok, Leia, or maybe even at this point, I wouldn't be surprised to see Minotaur first pick, because seen how hard it works and how good it works for a lot of teams, and I think a lot of the rumors are actually trying to use it right after Sacred Shrine had used it in a grand finale of a LAN event.
It's Mumbai server though, and like Mumbai server, the Gatot Kaja is too OP nowadays with the Diggy. We don't see the Diggy much in the game scene, but Gatot Kacha is everywhere. He can actually go for the flex. So banning out the Gatot Kacha is a very well start, I can say, like in the first banning phase to end it with the Gatot Kacha ban from Noctura Esports. Now they do have the chance to actually grab on that Grok. There is the last ban coming out from the side of RNTX. Might be the Grok, or might be they're going to ban out that Kimi in the mid because it's also one of the favorite pick of Faden. So you don't want to trade it out with Faden. But let's see, the Grok will be taken out though. Like they are really into that Kimi's meta position, but he do have a lot of picks open. Here you go, guys. The Bakshia is coming in, and this might be the flex because it can be into the hand of Serar Moon, Sodo into the hand of Kimi. And if the Bakshia has been opted, I'm damn sure the map is Broken Walls, and yes, it is Broken Walls already written in the panel. But there you go. Having the Bakshia into your side, you're gonna find the Hilda, the early game invasion in the hand of Alfred. So do the Jushin in the hand of Witch. So is this Jushin pick so good, or trading with the Kimi will be a bad decision from RNTX? Shinju.
The Zushin has a much better mid control compared to the Kimi, and also the Zushin is one of those heroes that can actually is a lot tankier than most mages because the Zushin can actually go for those tankier build, tankier emblem, giving her a bit more advantage with the let's say in the mid to late game, right? And again, this time around, I feel even though they're getting the Esmeralda, even though they're getting I still think the Zushin can really disrupt the front line, and if the front line is disrupted, it's gonna be very difficult for the backliners to deal damage because they are very susceptible to getting ganked. They become very vulnerable in situations where the frontliner cannot do much. Because yesterday we already saw, Yama Esports actually picking up the Hilda with Valentina, but didn't work so well because the Valentina lacked the damage. But the Zushin is same. You do require some more damage onto your jungle. I would say this game they need some kind of damage jungle instead of the utility one. They cannot for something utility here because Zushin is already a utility, right? You do not deal massive damage, and because of that, you need to prio a damage jungler. So, like you mentioned, the Baxia is not flexed. If it's actually a jungle Baxia, it's gonna be very difficult for the assassins to actually come online in this game.
Yeah, of course, utility's main counter is Jushin, and the Bakshia in the hand of Seramon will be a little bit difficult for him to actually take out those invasion, or maybe you can say take out those turtle steal or contest into the turtle, because the Jushin's lantern player will actually be halting him out there. But now we're entering into the second banning phase as the first picking phase is over. There is a Yuzong this time into the hand of the RNTX. Miria, the creator, the playmaker, will be having that Yuzong, and that will really gonna work better in this draft because you do see Eve there in the hand of Faden.
Yeah.
And when Eve gonna cast out the RWM, he will be in that stationary position. He can't move at the point. and then you're gonna see the backline disruption coming out from this Black Dragon, the Great Black Dragon. But let's see how it's gonna happen, because the execution part we're gonna know in the game only. But now the high loss taken out. It is like they are sure that this Bakshia is going into the hand of Sir Armon. There is still the chances on for Kimi to actually acquire that Minotaur, because Kalea is banned, Grok is banned, Gatotkacha, High Loss, everything is right now banned in the roaming section. If he wants to go a little bit aggressive because of the broken walls, he can go with the Khalid. If he wants to go with heal, like the Walking Guardian helmet, as stated, as mentioned by my friend Ray, Minotaur in this recent patch, he can also go for it. I like Minotaur is the 70% Grok, 30% Angela, because he can give the heal out there. So do the knockoff with the Minoan Fury, just like the tech chart.
Yep.
So you're gonna do the work of the Grok, but not like the 100%. So do you're gonna give the heal as well. So it's a good pick-off combo if you really wants to make some pick-off combo kind of team. But now the last ban, it will be the respect to us, Aaron the Creator. The first game, if you remember, I mean, you were not there. It was me and Itami. But if I remember, that game was literally out of the hand of RNTX. But then the god, the creator, managed to pull it back, just like the way he do always in the past scenes. So banning out the Grangers, really giving them the chance. So do the Harith from their side. It will be the respect towards Kyle, but yet to know that Kyle is on the Esmeralda, or he's going for something else, because he do like to play that Esmeralda as well.
True. I think the Esmeralda Golden has been pretty popular, whereas the Double Fighter meta has been in check a lot more, because I think it's the damage as well as the sustain that can really give her a lot more advantage. And the sooner you get the items onto us, the Esmeralda, the more you can harass your opponent. At the same time, I was mentioning about, the side of team RNTX, they needed a damage jungle with the Zushin onto the mid lane. Therefore, they go for that. And like you mentioned, the Baxi actually get flexed into this draft, but they ended up picking a Hedrin, which is again very susceptible to the Zushin. Cannot really, use his skills very freely, because, he can get just picked off and, thrown around the map. But for the answer back from the side of Team RNTX, they're going for the X-Borg, which I really love in this draft, honestly. The X-Borg so good in this situation where you have four tanky frontliners, and the X-Borg can freely hit them, because, they require a bit of time for covering the gap or the melee range that they have. So far, the Xbox can farm. This game is looking really good. With the draft, Team RNTX are going in for Noctura. I think they're going a bit tanky with the damage a little bit lacking. Yes, the Lapu Lapu does deal damage. Yes, the Eve does deal damage, but it's not, very based damage. It's very, overtime damage, right? It's like a shred damage in a way, I would say.
Yeah, I got it. Having the Xborg and Jushin, as you mentioned, will be the best counter for the utility team NOC right now having. So do they have that one burst, you can say. Like, Eve is the only one who will be the burst, and he might get countered, or you can say cornered, or get targeted by the Hilda or the Yuzong mostly. So let's see how this draft goes for the side of RNTX, so do the NOC. But I believe like RNTX still have the upper hand in this game, because they do have the sustain and they do have the counter for that. Ishan Shin getting the early game snowball will actually be a big threat for the whole side of NOC. And talking about the neutral objectives preference, you're gonna see that the Fedrin will have a little bit upper hand into the neutral objective. So let's see, guys, how the retribution gonna work, how the game's gonna work, who's gonna pop out that Nexus, who's gonna take on the crown, and who will be in the 2-0 bracket. We are entering into the land of Dawn for Mythic Showdown Season 2 Swiss stage at day number 3. One-off bracket is going on right now. It is RNTX in the left side, and in the right side, it is NOC, of course. And 0-0 is the score is, because we are just heading into the start, and both the junglers are taking up their aggro. Are we ready for the vengeance?
Absolutely, a bit different rotation that we're looking into the game, right? Both the junglers are starting with the top portion of the map, meaning that they will be prioritizing the rotation onto the EX. And in this meta where double fighter reigning is very much prioritized, I think it's a very different rotation that we're looking at. And talking about the emblems, we're not looking at too much different, but first blood already been drawn by Miri onto the bot lane, a 1v1 being won. But again, if you take up the emblems here, I think for the side of team RNTX, they're really going a bit aggressive with the damage that they want to go for, right? You can see for Joseph, he's actually going for the killing spree, right? So that's really gonna deal a lot more damage. But he's
Bro, look
like
at
he's
Hilda.
actually that's what, right? I was also going to talk about Hilda, afraid, right? Going for the high and dry or the master assassin in this case. So he's actually want to go for the poke or the the invasive game, or getting the damage a lot more than actually tanking those shots. But at the same time, this actually opens up a very aggressive game plan the side of Team RNTs are going for, because as you can see, they're already going in.
Okay, the Mountain Shocker release there. As the poke coming in there, it's a taunt from the Sarar Moon, but it's just the start, and so we cannot say like they will become aggressive so fast. But having the Hilda is that main thing where suspecting that they will be playing that aggressive play with that Master Assassin, and you do have to say like if they would have gone for Hayabusa, they would have made a rupture into the Haya as well. That aggressive play they really wanted for them, but now the turtle dance already started, Shinryu.
Yeah, both the teams are actually prepared. They're setting up the turtle dance, and I can already see the black dragon zoning them out, and the jungler cannot really make way, meaning that Sarar Moon will get a free turtle, but Duba wanted to go in. Looking for
Joseph it is with the turtle. He
okay.
grabs it.
Sorry, my bad.
1
Yes,
not the
sir.
score. Micro into the hand of RNTX, macro into the hand of RNTX, and you're gonna see that level 5 mark. The only one who in the level 5 mark, it is Joseph because of the turtle. And so far, we're gonna say that all of them are in the level 4 mark. And there you go, onto the top side, the burst coming in there by Aaron the Creator onto Kyle's Esmeralda. But this is the thing, I mean, should Kyle would have gone with that Lapu Lapu goal?
That is not Kyle, actually that's just Duba. So I think it is sent for the Esmeralda to actually lane against the export, given the fact that he has shield, and the Esmeralda can take away the shield. For the Lapu Lapu, I think it's still better to actually lane against the dragon, because the dragon can pretty much harass the Esmeralda pretty early on. Because yes, the Esmeralda does have shield, does have that sustain, but still very low in the early game, and kind of can backfire because you have to go melee to clear out the lanes. That's where you can actually just advantage for the 1v1. But at the same time, the Lapu can hold it a lot better compared to that fact. But again, mid lane, a bit of rotation coming in from Team RNTX. They are setting up a gank, or they're setting up an ambush. There they go.
Oh my goodness, this was unexpected for Faden. He was not about to anticipate it out there. 4-man goes in, Mountain Shocker release, and now they're literally rotating out to that bot side, but
better
they're happy with that one set.
Again, mid lane, a bit of rotation coming in from Team RNTX. They are setting up a gank, or they're setting up an ambush fights that they always have to take. And it's about just taking those pick offs, and they have that petrify combo from Mario as well, so it's a lock-on skill. Even though Faden had the flicker, he didn't get a chance to actually use it up. The Mountain Shocker combo as well, revealing the positioning of all the opponents, and they already know where they are. All they had to do was just hit the pulse properly, and now this turtle setup already started from Team RNTX. Looking for a fight.
He's zoning right out though, but I don't feel like they're actually gonna contest it out, even though this is the broken wall, but it's not so easy to contest it out, having a 1k goal lead already into the game, and now they're going for the fight with the help of the river. You're gonna see that rotation coming out from Aaron the Creature, getting halted down by the Esmeralda there. The Mono Shocker released, giving out the zone, as well as it will be taking out that bug from the hand of Sarah Moon.
Yep. And even though this is a broken wall map, we're not looking at too much invasions or too much aggressive gameplay from either of the team. But up top though, will be okay because there are two members rotating. But again, on bot, Mir is low HP.
Okay, the flicker baited as well, but now you're gonna see that dive comes up. Crimson making use, but it's just the bait, and nice dodge coming out from NOC. They don't want to lose out this goal to giving out those micro lead, even though it is right now 2-0. They haven't started anything for them, but there you go. The Moonfall comes in. It's just a poke once again. It's more like they're playing defensively, waiting for the neutral objective, and then they're going to take up the fight. But at this point, if a fight is occurring, Shinryu, I believe RNTX will gonna have the upper hand in those fights.
For a game this scale, I think it's going to be more of the late game fights that we are going to look at, because the early game is pretty peaceful. It's just 2 kills on the board, and the teams are really focused on towards the farm, on towards securing those neutral objectives, which are going to be very important because that will give them the goal lead. So far, RNTX, they already have secured okay goal lead, and that's going to show up really soon. Up top, though, Duba is getting engaged, but
Trapping
Kimmy?
down Kimmy with the Mountain Shocker released. Joseph goes in there with the Crimson Bacon being released, by which before the turtle, a lot of resources burned down by Kimmy from RNTX side. And now the turtle coming in. They don't have the Mountain Shocker. They don't have the Crimson Bacon in their hand. It's like two of their main ultimate has been taken out. Even the Power of Wilderness has been taken out. But there you go. The Moonfalls comes in there. Esmeralda engaging. Duba onto the top side, but it will be the turtle getting not into the mark, not into the zone. But in the meantime, the Meteor falls down. Faden finds the way, and now the Slayer of HP. Okay, the RWM popped up there. Faden got the hand onto Afrid. Now 3-man getting cornered and trapped down. Black Dragon emerges by Mirio the Creator. The Creator is going. He's giving out the opening, but he's a little bit sooner into the deepness and will be taken out and will be carried out into the hand of Duba. In the meantime, Joseph finds a kill there onto the Kimmy. 1-for-2 trade is coming in there in the micro, but now the blue buff is taken out. And now he's going with the immune. But in the meantime, you see that Paraga Armor still walking onto Aaron. Crimson Bacon used. The total goes into the hand of NOC at this point. Or do you gonna see some contest? What do you feel?
It can still be a 50-50 here, Ash. They're not stopping.
Okay, they're not stopping here. It can be the 50-50, but look at that! The way they cornered him, but it will be the retribution from Joseph. Classed out the turtle for himself, even though all the resources were burned down. But he managed somehow to be the turtle slayer, having that 3x turtle mark into the game. And now the micro will be set a little bit, but the macro still in the hand. Meteor falls down, giving that expansion for the side of NOC, but now the Mountain Shocker once again released. 4 members still there. Zoned out comes up. He's gonna go inside for the tier, but the minion waves will not be enough to actually take out that tier from the hand of NOC.
Yeah, I mean, for RNTX, they're winning out on those trades of obviously they're getting the turtles, the neutral objectives, but have not really pushed any of the structures around the map, and this is will be the first one that they're actually eyeing on and will be able to take down up top lane. So the tier 1 falls up top. So this will, open up the map a little bit more, but the main advantage, like you mentioned, mid lane will be the problem for RNTX and more advantage for NOC because they can actually easily enter the jungle of team RNTX and even steal away the farm, the resources as well. That's gonna be a problem, but down bot.
Down bot, you're gonna see the Lantern Flare coming in. Duba goes down. Joseph got the killing spree. Now he's going for a double and will be securing it onto Kemi. What a way for the jungler to getting out the spike into his hand, having the Sky Piercer, and now the stacks are getting high because of the kills coming in. But like Shinryu, I'm gonna say about it, like when you're taking out the top tier, like your work is over there. You can actually give out those rotations. So top tier or bot tier 1, it's like more like to the player when it goes down. A big relief from the hate also comes in because you don't have to stay there alert or cut out that tier. You can actually give the rotation to the team fights and all. That's what I'm saying. I mean, this is Broken Wall. This is not the river expand river. So of course.
Yeah, true. Actually, once you have taken down the turret or your lane has been pushed in, you can have that relief that you can rotate around the map, give a bit of more damage, little bit of more contribution to towards the team fight. But of course, so far, even the 4v4 these teams are taking a problem though.
Black Dragon emerges, Meteor the Creator, playmaking there, Aaron the Creator goes in as well. The Bakshia, Kimmy falls down into the hand of RNTX. 6-2, the score is now Lord being on, and it will be unstoppable for Joseph. He goes in with a immune. Off-cam kill comes up there. Now they're cornering up Faden. Can Faden survive? The Appraiser's Wraith comes up by Sarar Moon, and this will be the second skill popped out by Joseph. They find some mid-tier 1, expanding the jungle area. Mirror situation coming in there. Now they're going for the tier 2, and oh my goodness, RWM popped up in the meantime. You're gonna see that Bakshia going in, roll on, but you're not gonna find Joseph there. And Joseph will be releasing his Mountain Shocker, the Lantern player, right now, halting the way for Kimmy. Should have gone for the Lord.
I mean, there's still time for them. It's like a ticking bomb for Team NOC because you look at Sarar Moon. He's already level 15. Not Sarar Moon, actually Joseph. My bad here. He's already level 15, and that's gonna create a lot of problem because you're looking at a freely farming YSS, the Nissan Shin. He's 5-0 and 3, meaning that he has a lot of gold, a lot of items onto versus build, and even if you're even if you have a lot of sustain, the damage will come through, and over that is onto an export that can deal out the true damage, and you can already see the glimpse of it, right? He's just chunking the members down just by using his first skill, and that's gonna be a problem. Every time their HP is low, they have to go back, otherwise Afraid is already ready behind the back of the lineup to just, go and punish them down. But again, Black Dragon emerges here.
Yeah, zoning properly. Joseph Retribution gonna work here. Lot being secured. Crimson Maken coming in. Lantern player as well. Aaron finds a kill onto Haruka. In the meantime, he goes in there. He do have the last Insanity into his hand. The Faraka armor is on and he will be popping with the last Insanity. Boom, bam. Let's see. Can he grab some kills? No. He goes back there. Just happy with that single kill and the Lord into the hand. Being secured. Crimson Maken coming in. Lantern player as well. Aaron finds a kill onto Haruka. In the meantime, he goes in there. He do have the last Insanity into his hand. The Faraka armor is on and he will be popping with the last Insanity. Boom, bam. Let's see.
RNTX is higher. Shinryu, 2-0 wise, are we gonna see RNTX?
I think this game is still yet to get over. You can see they have the aggression, they have the pressure, but there is very less people that can actually go and push the turrets from RNTX. It's just gonna be Joseph, but if he goes too deep, it's gonna be a problem. Once again, we'll take the Lord, going down from top lane, but again, Joseph might be in trouble. Able to dash out from Duba. Still survives, but hey, that's a very aggressive gameplay out from Duba. But you look at the build from Joseph. He's having a Sky Piercer, meaning that he's actually playing for the kill. But
that was really one picky one for Joseph. He's really wanting those kills into his hand. But in the meantime, the Lord emerging out of the top got defended down by the side of RNTX. But now it will be Duba. Got cornered there and will be getting chunked down from the side of RNTX. And now the Lantern player comes in. Monster secured by Joseph with the Sky Piercer. Once again piercing out Kimmy there. And now the inhibitors falling down. Nexus will be open soon, but in the meantime, we're going to see that retaliation being happened by RNTX, but there will be the fight, the skirmish happening as well, and it will be Alfred getting out the inhibitor and the Crimson Maken popped up. Myriad the creator going with the Black Dragon Godlike secured by Joseph onto the Haruka. Oh my goodness, the dive comes up, a damage from the tier, and now RWM popped up. It will be Phaeton finishing the wave for Mirio, and with that, it will be the minion waves coming and entering into the base. Standing there, but it will be covered up. It will be cleared up. Baraka armor is still on there. Flicker immortality popped up. Lantern player giving some time there for Aaron the Creator. He goes for the last Insanity. Legendary comes up for Joseph. Surroundment falls down. Jungler for the jungler. Sliver of HP. Aaron the Creator not going back. They're not taking their back here. They're just going for that aggressive push. I don't feel it will be a good idea. That's a good decision.
No. Yeah, that's a very good decision, right? Because if they overextend, if they play in a very indisciplined game, that's going to be costing them, because Aaron already lost his immortality and Black Dragon was not there, so they do not have the advantage. And if we talk about the goal, already a 10k lead into the hands of Team RNTX, meaning that they are really ahead. At this point, Team NOC, they have to wait for the farm, they have to slow the game down, but that's not going to be happening. This fight again breaking out.
Okay, backdoor from Joseph there. He comes from the back. Finds a kill there as well. Crimson Bacon used. And doesn't matter. Right now, the CD onto the Crimson Bacon will be 12, if I'm not wrong. And the Lord being on, you took out Kimmy, the one who could have gave that opening or could have gave that zone. This is the thing about the Bakshia. Even though you picked it up for the broken walls, you don't have that aggression for your side. You do have the Fedrin. But who is the burst? Kimmy? No. It's Faden with the Eve. He needs that position. And if he don't have the position, he'll be taken out easily.
True indeed. And even though Team RNTX, they have that advantage, but you can see, right, sometimes they're really overestimating the damage and they're really going in deep. But still, this time, it's not going to be mattering. Duba falls once again. This Esmeralda is completely disabled from the side of Team RNTX, and right now they can just get whatever they want. And with the Lord marching down from the mid lane, a good wave sync, I think we're looking at a game over.
Okay, and the Creator goes in there with the last Insanity. Lost. This will be open for the side of RNTX, and they might go for the lockdown here. Before that, Legendary secured onto Haruka. Joseph, the boy, into the action. Might be going for the double onto Serrar, and with that, he'll be picking up the triple as well. And with this, the crown up, and it will be Team RNTX into the 2-0 bracket of Swiss stage by taking on the victory against Noctura Esports. It was a one-way victory. It was a one-side game. And you're going to say that the domination was clear from the very beginning of the start, or you're going to say that very beginning of the game?
I feel it was a very clean game coming in from the side of Team RNTX. They were so in control of the game. And because of that control, they never really lost the advantage. Yes, some fights were a bit very messy, of course. But at the very least, at the very end, I think they got the game under their control. The way they played, the way they, the transitions from for those objectives, the way they really convert this objective was so good to watch. And with the Sky Piercer and a complete build, it's gonna be Mr. Joseph getting the Player of the Match award for this game. I think him already going for that, killing spree, like I mentioned, he's actually playing for that aggressive route, right? He's actually playing for that kills, and he actually had, in fact, if you take a look at it, his 13-0-3, meaning that half of the kills, not even half, I think 70 to 80% of the kills of the team was on towards him, and the rest of the team enabled that so well. And even which with the Zushin had given so much control, so much disruption to the side of Team Noctura. Every time Kimi was going in, he could not get back out. And that's the problem when you go with the utility, or when you go with the front line and there's a Zushin available, you cannot really get back out. And in this case, Kimi did not have the flicker. He was on a revitalize, so once his first kill is disrupted, he cannot really back out very easily, right? And even though Haruka as well as Duba were really trying to actually enable those team fight, the frontliner got completely disabled. Point for Team Revenant X Spark for picking up the X-Borg, but even so, they had enough damage regardless with the rest of the lineup that they had.
Of course, and now we will have that head-to-head mark coming in soon. And like into the head-to-head, I believe like there will be no head-to-head. It's more like Team Revenant X Spark having the whole game for them. They were literally dominating from the very beginning, and it is the snowball being given to Joseph, of course, into the Ishan Shin, and so do Afrid, giving out those zone, giving out those perfect opening with the help of the Mirio. So Revenant X Spark did well in this whole game. There was a time when we thought like they were getting pushed back. There was the fight in the mid lane when Faden got the tier. Then it's over. That's the only fight we're gonna say that Team Noctura won. After that, they didn't even give them a time to flinch. But now you're gonna see those head-to-head coming in. Sirrar Moon, no need to say anything here. 13-0-3-0-2-3 has a long way to talk about, so no head-to-head. It is more like head-to-toe.
Absolutely, I feel the way Team Revenant played, it gave them so much advantage, and they played for their lineup. They were not really trying to just go for very, I would say, skirmish-based team fights. They were very much patient in the early game, and even for Afraid with that, Assassin, he actually played for the invades more like he wanted to play for those zoning capabilities more, a lot more, give the damage early on so that his teammates can go in and can instantly finish off those low HP target. And I think even with Mirio onto the Black Dragon, he did a very good job enabling those team fights, soaking the damage as well. Even though he was 1 HP or 10% HP, he just went back in, he backed up, and so much advantage to this team. And if you talk about the rich guy in this game, is of course gonna be Joseph onto that Ethan Shin, free farming the entire game and making his presence known throughout with the KD of 13-0 and 3, I believe, or 2. And the carry is gonna be Faden. Unfortunately, his team was a bit too heavy for him to actually carry this time around. Even though he was trying very good, he was trying to deal the damage, but they had too many frontliners and less number of damage dealers into the team fight. And with not having an end of those, economy, I think is so difficult for the Esmeralda, Lapu Lapu, and even for the Fredrin to actually deal the damage, isn't it? Because you kind of soak the damage and you dish out that much. That is how you play the hero, but at the same time, you saw that thing was completely disabled from the side of Team RNTX.
Yeah, and it is it's time to take a short break. But guys, I need to tell you all that there's the giveaway going in. For 300 concurrent viewers, for 500 concurrent viewers, we'll have the 500 diamonds, 1000 diamond each giveaway. So if you really wants to take the giveaway, let your friends know that the Mythic Showdown Season 2 is going in and the fun is already in. So be the part of the fun, be the part of the tournament as a viewer, and take your share, the diamonds giveaway, of course. We, HTZ and Shinryu, will be taking a short break now. The third game of the night for 1-0 bracket of Swiss Stage day number 4 will be coming in soon. So till then, stay hydrated and be there, guys. Thank you so much.
Do you think I'm crazy? I've got Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Mythic Showdown Season 2, brought to you by War Drum Games. And this time, we will be heading on to the third match for the night, and this is going to be between Team Armageddon Esports and they are taking on Team Elusivity Esports. Both of the teams, they have managed to get their first wins, so they are here on to the first 1-0 bracket. So this time, on to the casting decks, on to the right, it's going to be me, Tami, and joining me will be as TZ, aka Ash, once again onto the casting decks. So he will be the play-by-play, and of course, I'll be your analyst. I'll be your co-caster. Ash, what are your thoughts regarding this match? We did witness the Elusivity Esports versus the Venom Esports Absolute Cinema match, and Armageddon as well. They did earn their right onto the 1-0 bracket after defeating Untitled, and they made it here. So, quick thoughts regarding this match and what are the stakes onto the series?
I believe it will be Armageddon Esports, as you mentioned before. Like the Brody pick was the X factor for them in the last game they played in the Swiss stage in the day one. So now they might gonna make that history repeat once again with that Brody pick. But if it get banned, then there should be something else. But if they're loving that goal lane pick, then they might go for the Natan as well. So I'm gonna see what's gonna happen in the goal lane, because you already told me about the goal lane X Factor thing for Armageddon, but so do the talking about team Elusivity Esports, Prince Senju being there. This guy is so good right now in the mid lane. If you're gonna talk about the top mid laners in India, I'll just add his name as well there, because he's literally good with the positioning. He's so good with the dodging as well. So I love his play, and he's the X factor for the EVT side. I really want to know how Elusivity gonna match up against Team Armageddon in the drop section, having the Kimi or really Senju. Is he gonna go for the Kimi pick or the Jushin? And he's so good with the Farsa as well. So if Team Armageddon really wants to win this game, they need to prioritize Senju here in this whole setup play. But as we are moving deeply into the Swiss stage, already being stated in the last game, I told that we're right now in the 1-0 bracket, guys. And the 1-0 bracket is really fearceable, because it's more like both the teams have that ego into their side, because they already won the game. They already won their first match in Mythic Showdown Season 2. And right now, if they win once again, they will be into the 2-0 bracket. If they don't win, they will be going into the 1-1 bracket. And you know, the two teams waiting in the 1-1 bracket, Itami, it is SATUL and Noctura. So you don't want to go there. You really want to be in the 2-0 bracket, to be in the safer side. Even though Sacrifice RNTX is there, but you do have the chance to, like, you do have a good, +1 when you are in the 2-0 bracket. But 1-1 bracket, the teams which are waiting there are really fearceable. So you might be thinking about it, and that may be the pressure right now in the mind of Armageddon, Elusivity. Even though these two teams are in the Mythic leaderboard, but still they are like gonna prove themselves in this Mythic Showdown Season 2 by winning a game in this mono bracket.
Yeah, exactly. And this time around, I think Armageddon Esports as well, they are quite aware of the fact that Elusivity has been more active compared to them onto the tournament scene for now, onto the recent tournament scene. Like we did see Elusivity Esports being the runner up for a recent LAN tournament. So they do have that experience, and they are kind of synergizing with their lineup as well. They would be having some downfalls onto the mid. They were not able to win onto the finals, but this is one of the teams who have been quite making their way onto the mythical leaderboard. They are actually, both of the teams, they are from the mythical leaderboard instead of the elite ones. So this matchup is going to be quite interesting. The draft is already here. Quick thoughts. It could be the signature bands as well as let's say the target bands as well as the meta bands. So what could actually be the priority, HTC?
Okay, Elusivity Esports. I believe that they'll be banning out those meta. Jushin is the first option. Second is the Grok. These are the meta picks you are talking about, and you don't really want to give it out. And banning out the Jushin also opening one thing that they might gonna go for that utility jungler for them. I'm not sure about it, because Elusivity jungler do like to play those assassin mobility kind of things. So I'm not sure about it, but they might gonna go for the Kimi pick as well. You know, like Kimi and Jushin are the trading pick if you're gonna go for the Kimi, the opponent side do pick that Jushin. So that might be the thing, banning out the Jushin. So a lot of things will be get open if you're gonna see the ban section. Talking about the bans from the side of Armageddon Esports, they are still now taking out the time and taking out the Bakshia with the Kalea. Two more valuable bans coming out from them. And now the third ban, what it could be, and this is expanding river. So like when you're playing in the expanding river, the side laners are really advantage due to the flow, and they can actually give that faster rotation, clear rotation throughout the match, throughout the early phase of the game, throughout the mid phase of the game, when you need them into the neutral objective side. So this is the main thing in the expanding river. You really don't want to go for a fighter like Lapu Lapu, Esmeralda. You can actually go for something like Erithel, Natan, this kind of thing. And as you mentioned, Rodiva thing, that might be the thing from Elusivity this time. Not Elusivity, Armageddon this time. Let's see, the last ban, it will be the Ishan Shin, and they will be going for the Lancelot here. That's a nice way pick coming out from the side of team Elusivity Esports. So again, we're gonna see for a Hayabusa here to counter the Lancelot, or there will be a Fedrin.
They can rely onto the utility as well, but prioritizing the Lancelot as the first pick would be a go-to kind of a thing, because if they didn't went out for the Lancelot, definitely team Armageddon, not Armageddon actually, it is Elusivity Esports, would have prioritized the Lancelot for their side. But for this game, looks like it will be the Lance going out for the side of Armageddon Esports, and instantly they will be, acquiring the CC as well as the Kimi onto the mid. So as you were mentioning, Kimi as well as the Jushin, they have been onto the S tier category onto the mid. So the Kimi, once she gets the Sky Piercer, she has the snowball kind of an ability. If your team fight, like if your team comp is completely reliant on the fighter kind of a composition, as well as the jungler is also a utility. But for the side of team Armageddon Esports, apparently it's the Lancelot. The assassin is there, and he has the beefiness as well. The tankiness also comes up once he gets the brute force breastplate as well as the queen's wings. So sustain wise also he can do it there. In terms of the objectives too, he is a really good jungler. He is a fast jungle clearer. That advantage is definitely there. And like you were saying, the Hayabusa could be prioritized, and there you go. AE, it's not AE actually, the names have been swapped out. Elusivity Esports will be the one prioritizing the Hayabusa as well. So an assassin versus an assassin onto the jungle.
It is the Armageddon. We'll be going for the Hayabusa. And Elusivity are still onto the Lancelot pick. But talking about the CC auto pick coming out from Elusivity Esports, it's a nice away pick, because like the Gatotkaja is still there, and the AOG's curtain call combo is so good. But I'm still in a sus. Like the Lapu Lapu could have been countered by the Esmeralda, or you could have gone for an Arlot. Or if you don't want the Arlot and the Esmeralda, you could have gone for the Yuzong, the Great Black Dragon, or maybe Povius could have worked. So, I mean, having the chance to go for a double pick, Gatotkacha CC into the goal, Hayabusa coming in for the jungle, you could have done that. Like, it could have been an easy way. You shouldn't have traded it out to the side of Armageddon Esports. Now, the second banning phase coming in there, you're gonna see those bans onto the Alice. Yeah, how can I forget this girl? Alice was there as well. So it was not needed. Like, I mean, that ban, that pick onto the Lapu Lapu was not so like eagerly waiting to be taken out by the side of Elusivity. So I don't feel good by Armageddon's choice having the Lapu Gatot trading out the CC to the side, because you had a chance to actually go for the combo. It's fine. They maybe strategize something else here, but having the Khalid getting banned here, it's really, I mean, a big thing I'm gonna say, because like people are not prioritizing the Khalid, Mino, or Hilda much. Hilda is getting prioritized. Khalid, Mino is not getting prioritized. But if you're gonna see the matchups of Sacrishrine, if you're gonna see the matchups for the side of team SATUL, you're gonna see this Khalid, Lolita, or maybe someday you're gonna see the Hilda as well from them, because these picks are really rare off meta picks, but they really work so good, Utami, I'm telling you. They blend so well in the meta.
I agree with the Khalid pick actually, because Khalid, he has the sand, like when he gets the passive, he has the sand onto his legs. and he has the movement speed faster compared to other roamers as well. That makes him one of the threats in terms of the engages as well. And considering the fact this is an expanding river map, the Khalid would have been able to rotate a lot faster onto the game. But speaking of movement as well as the movement speed, the high loss is getting prioritized from the side of Team Armageddon Esports. So Armageddon, they have already completed the draft, and looks like it is a CC gold lane, something I haven't seen for quite a while. But still, CC is a really valid gold laner as well. If she goes out for the damage build, she gets the Fury Hammer combined with the War Axe, so that will be giving you the additional damage as well. So I think Team Elusivity Esports, they will be trying to mark out the gold laner, and there you go, a marksman is coming up, and Crisis will be picking up one of his signature pick, that is going to be the Granger.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry, Tommy, to cut you that time saying that Armageddon is on to the Hayabusa. It was for the name, and I got confused as well. It is Senju right now there with the Eve, and it's more like, three squishy wands into your side. There is the CC into the gold. There is the Black Dragon coming in, and Eve's greatest counter is the Black Dragon. You're gonna be stationary. I told that in the last game also, and the Black Dragon gonna disrupt the backline a lot with the help of the dive and the mobility. So here we have the 5-5 sets complete. Armageddon Esports going against Elusivity Esports, and this is the one-up bracket Swiss stage going right now at War Drum Games. And let me tell you guys, not only the match, but you guys can earn some diamonds for yourself by sharing the stream to your friends, letting them know that the War Drum Games is cooking something. The Mythic Showdown Season 2, the professional league for India, is going in right now. And they can also join in. If our concurrent watching gonna hit 300 or 500, we have a lot of prizes for you all. So, do share, make sure you'll be there, and grab on your prizes, guys. Those diamond giveaways. I'm not gonna, be the one who gonna let it out to anybody else.
I do agree. And this is going to be the third game for the night, and we already did mention it out. The draft, it's completely balanced out for either of the sides. It will be depending upon the execution. One thing about the Eve here is the only targetable, Senju's positioning, we are aware of it. He knows how to play it out safe, and he knows when to initiate. But the biggest threat for the Eve is going to be the Lancelot for this game. This guy is just going to be using out the dashes, and he will be trying to make sure the Eve is getting targeted. Most probably, he is onto a flicker spell. So he can be having that mobility as well as the engage potential.
In the meantime, he goes in there. He do have the last insanity into his hand. The Baraka armor is on, and he will be popping with the last insanity. Boom, bam, let's see, can he grab some kills? No, he goes.
Sacred Shine as well as the other team. Who was it? I'm so sorry with it. Sacred Sign as well as the other team onto the 2-0 bracket have already made their ways, but here we are onto the land of Dawn, STZ.
RNTX, the second one, and let's see who will be the third one to be there in the 1-0, not the 1-0, 2-0 bracket. And now we're gonna see that the early game skirmish already been there. Side of Armageddon Esports, who are right now having the Kimi into their hand, is giving out those damages, early game skirmishes onto EVD side. And you're gonna see that Senju popping over there, busting out some energy from the side of Team Armageddon. But there you go, a lot of energy has been taken out from the Roba, but the Revenant lies popped up there. It got forced out onto Twin Flame to actually cast it out, so that he will be not gonna give out his skill into the hand of.
Yeah, just to save your life, he ended up losing one of your battle spell. That would have been quite of a priority. But speaking of priority, that is going to be the prior emblems coming up from either of the sides. Yeah, on to my surprise, okay, look at the Yuzhong. He went out for the Rupture as well as the Festival of Blood. So the Rupture could be giving out you the additional damage when it comes to the Petrify combos. And there is the team fight.
Quad Shadow comes in there. He goes with the Wee Shadow kill. Twin Flame falls down as well. He goes back, and in the meantime, we're gonna see the Bravest Fighter coming in, follow-upping there. The stun comes up. It will be Team EVD starting the way. Hayabusa got the kill there. 1-0. The score is, and in the meantime, usual objective popped in to the land of Dawn.
Yeah, the first blood once again for the side of team. Actually, it is Team Elusivity Esports. I think the names have been, uh, you know, the names would have been swapped out, but I hope it will be fixed out onto the next side. But there's a turtle fight as well as the team fight coming up.
Ooh. GG Zozi with the turtle still, and not only that, he finds a kill onto Madara as well. Two trade being traded on to the side of Team Elusivity Esports. I mean, Armageddon Esports and Elusivity. They got nothing in the turtle flight, but the micro will be same. It was not expected. I believe, like having the 1-0 score, you do have more chances to actually go for the turtle, first turtle, but it literally got changed. Itami.
I think this is what the expanding river does make the difference onto the team fights, because the side laners, like we have already mentioned it out, they are able to rotate a lot faster when it comes to the turtle fights. And speaking of turtle fights, oh, there's the
Oh!
flicker being used out as well as the AOG engages as well as the spells. Only the flicker being used out. The Kimmy will still be able to save a life. Swaim is a really good escape.
Yeah, nice one. Nice one for the side of Armageddon Esports mid laner, Swain. He really managed to dodge out two spells, two, I mean, big hits, AOG and the Ogi Shadow kill. I mean, that dodge was so important for him because he could have taken out at the point, and that would have give some goal lead for Elusivity Esports, even though they lose out the turtle, but still they're having the goal lead. It's just a minimum one into the economy. It's just 200, and it can be faded out as soon, but now the Quad Shadow being used. Throne Rose comes up. This is the main thing we're talking about. Zozi with the Lancelot can actually counter out that Shadow kill with the help of the Throne Rose.
Yeah, and looking at the level priorities as well, Godspeed is already level 7, so he is having quite of a farm advantage. Even if the OG Shadow Kill was not able to do the job onto the mid, they did try to prioritize onto that. There's a taunt coming onto Ito, uses the Vengeance just to escape. I think he would have been able to survive even if he didn't pop out the Vengeance. That would be quite of a resource being baited out, and looks like the turtle is getting prioritized. Black Dragon form also comes up in order to zone them out. Cody Cutie goes in.
Oh, Phantom Execution comes up. Throne Rose will be popped up. Zozi finds the turtle there. The Glorious Pulsar coming in. Look at this. Senzo. He goes for the RWM, but it will. Paulina goes in there with a dive. Finds the kill. Crisis will be taking out Paulina as well. 1-for-1. No. Swin falls down in the hand at the Madara. Quashadow comes up. Can he goes for the fight? No. Slaver of HP. Two members managed to flew back into the safer zone, and now CC goes in there. The Eurybliss comes up. They're taking out the golds away from the tier. Now the Phantom Execution got used. The Lava Golem will be taken out, giving that little bit of EXP to the jungler.
Yeah, EVT, it would have been quite bad for them if Madara as well as Godspeed would have been losing out their life, but with a little amount of HP, they were able to escape it out. So it is going to be quite hefty for the side of Team Armageddon Esports. That would have been quite of a difference maker, as well as that would have been given them much more of a lead. But for now, Elusivity Esports with a really good as well as a lucky kind of an escape for both of them. Maybe if Ito did had the vengeance, he would have been trying to initiate more onto that, but he was not able to do so. Godspeed was trying to initiate onto that. Looks like they will be trying to force out onto the turrets, but the minions are not present. Once again, Armageddon Esports are having slight of a lead, but the next turtle would be making quite of a difference.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, even though they're going for the turtle engages Itami, Team Armageddon is doing so good at the turtle, but now the engage comes in, the skirmish begins there, the fight comes out, Slayer of HP, Corey Coyote, bravest fighter used, -2 finds the kill onto Ito. In the meantime, the Black Dragon comes out, will be Paulina securing the kill onto Godspeed. Paulina falls down, Crisis comes in, Rhapsody working here, the man with the gun, the man with the bullet, and now the Throne Rose comes in as well. Zozi with a puncture goes in there, finds a little bit of damage onto the members of EVT, but now he's getting cornered, he's getting chased, and will be taken up by Crisis here. Killing spree it is for Crisis. What a rotation, what a gameplay, and oh my goodness, chase down to the hell and will be taken out. Now the Throne Rose comes in as well. Zozi with a puncture goes in there,
managed to melt
finds a little bit
down
of
the
damage
tanky
onto the members
one.
of EVT, but
Not
now he's
only
getting
that, they
cornered,
find
he's
the
getting
tier as
chased,
well on
and
the
will be
bot.
taken up by
What a trade
Crisis here.
comes up.
Killing spree it
3
is
kills into the
for
way.
Crisis. What a
1 tier
rotation,
onto the
what a
way
gameplay, and
for Team EVT, and now we do have a pause.
Yeah, three for none as well as the tower going for the side of Team EVT. So it was only a matter of time. They were able to get the lead back onto their side, and they were able to do so. This time the turtle will be spawning, and I think it could be an uncontested turtle for the side of Team Elusivity Esports, considering the fact that jungler was taken down from the hands of Crisis. And Senju with the chase down, actually he did a pretty good job chasing out onto the members of Team Armageddon Esports, and they were able to get a three for none, which will be giving them a huge of an advantage. Even if the Yuzhong tries to initiate with the Black Dragon form, there will only be a chance that he will just be taken down onto the process. We will be back once the troubleshooting is fixed. As by far, as the game is progressing onto the mid, I think Crisis could be one of the major targets for the side of Team Armageddon Esports, because this guy is getting farmed up and he could be the rich guy onto this game as well. So the key objective is
Now,
definitely going to be trying to shut down the opponent's goal laner.
yeah, and now like having the tier one to the bot, he can actually be giving more rotation to the team fight. So this is the very vulnerable position for Team Armageddon Esports at this point. Even though they're winning those turtle fights, those turtles as well, but then what happened on the bot is really remarkably unbelievable for me, because the gold spike was in the hand of Armageddon Esports. First, it was Ito, then Paulina comes in, finds the kill onto Madara, not Madara, Godspeed, and then we saw that it is not into the hand for of Armageddon Esports into the fight, because Crisis joins the fight. Rhapsody walks, Death Sonata comes in, he finds two into the way, killing spree into the hand, and then even though somehow the Hylos was getting his way back into the safer zone, but no, the chase being on by not Faden, the Senju, of course, and he finds the kill there. I mean, so
Yeah,
good from the
exactly.
side of APT at this point. They're really going for those small engages and converting it into a big micro trade.
Yep, and that will be the pause getting over, and looks like Elusivity Esports will be directly heading on onto the turtle. Paulina is trying to get out some visions, but I don't think that is actually going to be enough. It is going to be an uncontested turtle going out for the side of Team Elusivity Esports. 2k go 2.5k goal lead at least, so it is going to be keep extending unless Team Armageddon Esports comes up with the trades. The thing is, the major damage dealer is going to be the CC as well as the Lancelot. So if they do make the difference in terms of taking out the objectives, I think the comeback is still possible. But for now, EVT are extending out the leads. Bravest fighter being used out onto two people. There's the engage.
Two people. The Groist pathway comes up. Paulina joins in with the Black Dragon from AOG comes up. Paulina finds a kill onto Senju. He goes down as well. Mega kill being secured by Crisis. They go for the top. All will be securing on the Twin Flame. Can it be a triple for Crisis? He's still chasing out there. The blue buff being taken out by Zozy, and Zozy getting cornered as well. The slash comes up from the Korikuti. But it will be the puncture, taking out the Throne Reset into the hand. The GG fight comes up. You need to take out Crisis. You need to mark him up. It is not Senju, the prince. It is the king, Crisis with the Granger.
Yeah, Senju is actually the difference maker as well when it comes to the initiation, because of the RWM, Phantom Execution, as well as the OG Shadow Kill being used out. But okay, the curtain call, it was not the curtain call actually, it was just the basic attack coming up. But EVT are going quite all out when it comes to the team fights as well, and they were able to find out some trades. It was a 2-for-1, but just losing out Senju is not going to be mean of a difference. Like Ash has already said it out, Twin Flame quite low, and he goes down.
Rhapsody into the action once again, finds a tier, finds a kill. Twin Flame will be ruptured down once again, and it will be a double for Crisis. He don't take single kills, he talk only with a double, and now his trade forward going in there. The Ogi Shadow Kill might come to the action once again, finds the tier, finds the kill. Twin Flame will be taken out there. 11-4, one Crisis down. Now Dex just changed the whole scenario for Team A. The upness they have, the upwardness they have in the whole game, the upper hand they had is right now fading away in front of them just because of one man with a bullet. But now they cornered Senju with overextension. He was there, he got cornered, he got chunked out by the side of Team Armageddon Esports. A change coming in. I don't feel this is the online movement from Armageddon Esports. We can actually say you need to take care of Crisis first.
Yeah, and the other thing is he was trying to get out some visions onto the bot, but unfortunately it backfired onto them. And Armageddon Esports will also do the Lord contention without Senju. I think using out onto the team fights might be quite crucial, but Ito will be forced to just reset out the Lord, or maybe the Lancelot will be trying to join onto the team fights. Oh, they just go back, and the Lord is getting quite reset, but it is going to be a Lord dance, of course, SGG.
Yeah, just casual Lord Dance going in
Drag
there,
Dragon.
but onto the back line, a zone coming in there. It will be Paulina goes in, and Zozy with the retribution clutches out the Lord there. Glorious Brother comes up, but look at that crisis. Rhapsody going in, British Fighter joins into the fight. Gory Cuties finds a kill onto Paulina. AOG comes up, knock up being there, and the Death Sonata being chasing up onto that Hylos, and it will be a legendary double onto Swain. 3-man down with the Lord into the side of Team Armageddon Esports, but now they're cornered up there.
British
The
Fighter
CC finds a
joins
way
into
to
the
goes
fight.
back.
Gory
The Yo-Yo
Cuties
Bleeds
finds
finds a kill onto
in the way,
Paulina.
but the
AOG comes
waves
up, knock up
will be
being there,
cleared up.
and the Death Sonata
Tier
being
will be
chasing
spotted down.
up
It not
onto
gets
that
cleared
Hylos,
from
and
the
it
side of
will be a
EVT.
legendary
Even though
double.
they lost
The Lord, they got one macro into their side, they got 3 micro into their side, so it's more like happy settlement for EVT.
Yeah, the shield will be up, but I still feel that was a better trade for the side of Team Elusivity Esports. They did got a 3 for none without losing out any of the members onto this fight. So the crucial target again is going to be Crisis. And look at the itemization. Ranger is almost full item. He is most probably heading for maybe a winter crown or something. Looking at the gloves, I think it could be a winter crown, or maybe he could just swap it out with a rose gold, or for the additional damage go out for the war X as well. It works really well with the utility kind of a matchup. And looks like Godspeed, he was trying to get out some vision, but the team fight has come up. RWM.
Following up with the AOG, and Zozy falls down there, as well as we're gonna see Paulina running away with the Black Dragon emerging there as well. But the Death Sonata with the Rhapsody coming in, piercing out. Twin Flame falling down for the 4th time in a straight way into the hand of Crisis. He's just eating him raw at this point, leaving out no crumbs.
He's gonna be, he's leaving out no crumbs, and he is trying to force out onto the mid as well. Maybe Paulina doesn't have the Black Dragon form yet, and there's the team fight.
Yogi Shadow kill comes up, waves got cleared, Ito falls down, legendary for Crisis, Tears falls down as well, the Nemesis is open at this moment. We're gonna see the 3-lane waves coming in there. It gets cleared as soon as possible from the side of EVT, and now the waves coming in. They have no way to stall it out, but it will be Twin Flame going with a glorious pathway, and you're gonna see that Swain falling up there. Madara falls down, the continuous rush coming in, Bravest Fighter being on, legendary onto the hand of Crisis. We're gonna see the killing spree out of Swain, 2-man down at this point. You're gonna go for this type of skirmish, losing out the fight here. Throne Rose comes up, Paulina with the Black Dragon emerges, going for the engage here, but it will be the retaliation. We're gonna see, but no, the Rhapsody coming in, it is the chase. It will be the Yogi Shadow kill goes in, Zozy got down there. It's just the 2 members standing out with the waves coming in from each sides of the lane. Can they manage to defend it out? Can they manage to clear it out? The Yo-Yo Blitz being used there, but it will be Crisis dealing out those bullets onto the head of Ito.
They will be requiring some mega minions in order to actually end out the game, because the cooldown timers are not that massive. So Armageddon Esports will be back for the defense, but looks like they will be trying to get the inhibitor tower. Crisis just goes back. Twin Flame trying to engage, he goes back as well, trying to buy enough time for the side of Team EVT so that they will be getting the uncontested Lord. Godspeed has already contested it, and yep, that is going to be an uncontested Lord without any towers remaining for the side of Team Armageddon Esports. All they need to do is try to sing those lane and end the game as soon as possible.
Untouchable Crisis, unkillable yet, and you need to find him the way to take him down. Maybe the Black Dragon, maybe the Attraction Pearls, or maybe the Phantom Execution, but you need a way to take him down. Otherwise, the game is just getting away from your hand. You're just taking airside into the 1-1 stage, because it is not the EVT, it is Crisis who's right now reigning his terror in front of you. Now the Lord emerges there, Madara being there as well. AOG comes up into the back line. We're gonna see the glorious pathway coming in. Senju finds a kill onto Twin Flame. In the meantime, the Rhapsody coming in. Ito finds a way to Madara. Double on Ito. Godspeed falls down, but they are locking down the base. Shut down happened to Korigiri as well. It will be the Lord Rush, but we're gonna see that it's one hit away. Legendary for Crisis. Swain falls down. Double onto Paulina, and with this, Zothi is the only member standing there. But but will not be able to save his best up because it will be the crown popping there and a victory into the hand of Elusivity Esports. They're going into the 2-0 bracket, joining their hands with Sacred Shrine and RNTX, becoming the third team to be in the 2-0 bracket and kicking away team Armageddon Esports into the 1-1 bracket where the Fierceable Lions are waiting for the Armageddon, SATUL and Noctura.
Yep, and that will be a dominant kind of a victory going out for the side of Team Elusivity Esports. This time, looks like they were way too prepared, and giving out Crisis his Granger was absolutely worth it for their side. The guy was an absolute nuisance, almost with over. It was almost over 10 kills. Yeah, it is going to be 1406 with the Granger, the man, the myth, the legend. And of course, I think he was going out for the Winter Crown and he later swapped it out with the Immortality as well. But going out for the Sky Piercer quite early was a good decision. This guy was able to make the snowball. He was able to make the difference. And there you go, the deserving MVP. Look at all of the stats, STZ. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Ash,
Yeah,
are
of
you
course. No, I'm there. I was just reading out with this key for Elusivity both sides. Look at that, 1406. Yet the untouchable, yet unkillable, as you mention every time. The last time it was Senju, but this time it is a Crisis, a new member to carry out the Elusivity Esports. This is the way. This is the way of Crisis, of course, and he literally bring that Crisis to Armageddon Esports. 2 turtle. Straight away from the very beginning, winning the fight. There was a 3-1 score, and then there was a fight when we saw that double kill coming into the hand of Crisis, and everything got changed when he got that killing spree into his hand. Are you gonna say that Festival of Blood that do have that energy to actually go for this type of damage and full tanky Gatot Kacha? They do traded out the CC, but doesn't matter. The Lapu Lapu gave that proper. You're going to say zone, and this is the go lead. We're talking about the emblem setup. We're talking about the KD. We're talking about, and now it is the damage output.
Yeah, and the damage output, of course, damage dealt is going to be from Crisis, and he will be the major damage dealer for the side of Team Elusivity. I think the draft from the side of Team Armageddon Esports, they were completely reliant onto the utility as well as trying to get the snowball for the Kimmy, which didn't happen onto this game. And of course, it is going to be Crisis being the rich guy, the carry. Of course, it is Senju with those real world manipulation plays as well as the initiation. Twin Flame did try to engage with those glorious pathway plays. He was there as the initiator, trying to dive out onto the backlines too. But the defense coming out from the side of Team Elusivity Esports, as well as the taunt from Madara actually onto the Hylos, was making sure that he doesn't dive onto the backline. And Senju was doing the getting out some visions out of the bushes as well. One time he was even taken down before the Lord that came up. So he was doing his job, and he will be taking up 19 assists onto his name. So this will be it for this game. STZ, anything else you got to add up?
Oh, I'm not sure. You talk about the Brody thing, but here I saw they went for that fighter so it doesn't work for them. But I believe they will be rectifying their mistake. They'll be coming back stronger. They're in the 1-1 bracket right now. They might go for a big matchup against SATUL or maybe Noctura. But I believe Armageddon know how to make their comeback. They know how to set back and to make the comeback. So I believe they will do something in the 1-1 bracket. But congratulations once again to Elusivity Esports for their second win in the Mythic Showdown Season 2. And with this, we'll be taking a short break. The 9 o'clock game on, guys. It will be soon there. Zohunt versus Yellowstone. So be there, guys. Stay tuned with us. Another 1-0 bracket game. The last one for the night. But it will be after the short break. So stay tuned. We'll be coming back after the short break. Thank you.
Do you think I'm crazy? I've done all this before. Hello guys, we are back again for the final match of today and the 1-0 brackets. We have another best of 1 series and it's gonna be a banger match because we have two teams that are very very well known for the past. So we have Zohunt who will be going against Yellowstone aka Peak, and I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of them. A lot of dramatics are going to be happening into this game, so we'll see how it goes. So Fredo, how do you feel about these two teams?
Well, I've seen them play a lot of times. I'm not really new to these guys, so I know that this is going to be a banger match. Of course, the names are pretty familiar to people who have been following the scene for a long time, but maybe unfamiliar and probably, never heard of for certain people who just are very new and just, exposed to the esports of MOBA 5 recently. So yeah, introducing these teams, Zohan completely. Of course, in the beginning they were completely Mizo lineup, and right now I think they still are, right. And Yellowstone originated from Manipur. They still have a lot of players from Manipur, but of course I feel like there are some new people in the lineup as well. Not really aware of them, but let's see if these guys would pull it out, and let's see who gets the win. Of course, they both have secured a win, and that's why they're playing in this 1-0 bracket on the fourth day of the Swiss stage, and it will be a really exciting way to end things in the second round of the Swiss stage as we'll progress to the third round. Of course, the next match that either of these teams wins will be the one where they will be seeing them qualify, play at BO3 against another team which won a 2-0. So yeah, let's see which team is going to win tonight. Is it going to be a Zohan team which is going to be representing Mizoram, right? And Yellowstone representing Manipur. So yeah. Let's see.
Absolutely, because it's going to be not one heck of an interesting one, because with the change up that Zohan already have, Dusty not really into the jungle anymore. He's going to be playing the XP side too, and they have Blade. Mind you, that's King Blade, and he is a versatile player. To be honest, he's more good onto the assassins, but he can also play the utilities like the veterans and the Bashas, so they can also be coming in handy for them. So Peak might eventually try to go for a little bit of a change up into the draft as well, because this time around you cannot really ban away the hero pool into the jungle. But nevertheless, it can be a same story for the side of Johan as well, because Peak, they love playing the marksman still, but Johan kind of is able to adapt to the meta and go for a fighter into the gold lane side. So they can also be one of an advantage for their side too. But Skyzen, I feel like even in here for Yellowstone, they are still able to find the marksman, a good win rate too. So that can also happen here into the draft.
Definitely, Skyzen is someone that is in every single match that he plays, he's usually playing the carry role, right? He is someone that his teammates can always rely on, and recently he has definitely shown that. And that's the reason why they are here right now. And with that, jumping into the draft straight away, we're seeing Zohan on to the red side and the side of Yellowstone onto the blue side. So yeah, Skyzen can get his hands on his favorite heroes. He has always been the best guy on the Granger or the Harriet, as well as, of course, some other marksmen. We have seen his Moskov perform pretty well, but Moskov not really into the meta. In this fighter meta, though, I've seen him play the Ruby quite a few times, and he has really underperformed, in my opinion, because you don't really see him playing the fighters in the goal lane quite often, and that's why I do feel like Skyzen is not really the best when he plays the fighter goal laners. So let's see if he can adapt to this meta and show something serious as well, because we've already seen the other side. Zohan Prime is definitely menace on the Harriet, and of course the other heroes as well. He plays them pretty good, but of course his Harriet is one of his signature picks. But let's see if they will do that, go for the signature picks here, or are they going to do something which is in the meta right now, which is probably going to be picking up a fighter goal lane.
Yeah. So that can highly likely happen. But Yellowstone, they burned away the Elise very early on. And I haven't seen Johan play with an Elise though, so they can be a little bit of a safe ban, I think. So that can also work, because I feel like Dusty is more into those engagement XP laners rather than the elites who can stay into the team fights. But nevertheless, on to the other hand though, Zohunt, they removed the Bastia, very very good ban, because if we talked about God Kais, I think he's more comfortable onto the utility like the Xbox or something like that, because he's also one of the best Joy user as well, so that can also come in handy. But yeah, you got to remove the Zeusyn as well, even though they aren't the first pick, so that's kind of a deny, I would say, don't you think?
I would say it's kind of a deny actually. But even then, the Zushin, of course, it's sometimes actually kind of a planned pick as well. If you're thinking of picking up some tanky frontliners, which can get trouble, like the Gatot, the Fredrin, the Hylos, and all such high HP heroes, the frontliners who do not have a lot of mobility skills. That's when you usually ban out the Zushin. So that could also be the plan. Instead of just denying the Zushin to the opponents as well. But yeah, with that, we're seeing the Grok come out here. On the side of Zohunt, definitely a pick that a lot of people have been, they just forget to ban it out, I would say, and not really pick it as well. Even though we know that the Grok is definitely a prio pick, we've not really seen it come up a lot of times in the matches so far. But this time around, Zohunt have banned it out. I'm really thinking as to why, why did they ban this hero? Of course, it does deserve a ban, but the fact that everyone has been ignoring it. They could have ignored it as well, but for some reason they've banned it out here. I don't really know, but is it because of Kais or something? Or Ricky, was it the roamer? I think it was Kais, right?
Lemonnier.
Or Lemonade.
It's
I'm so sorry.
Kais is the jungle. Lemonnier is the
So sorry about
mean-
that mix up there.
classic Fredro, man. I'm joking. Well, honestly speaking, I think the only time I've seen the Grog being played is into the hands of Kirk's Requiem. Array onto that Grog. I think he's found a success there too. So that was the only time I've seen the Grog too in this MS2. So I think it's just more of a deny ban from the side of Zohunt, so that Lemonnier will not be able to get his hands onto it. Wait, I must be wrong. Wait, Lemonnier also played the Grog. Yeah, it was good, and he was able to find a win also. So that's the 2 times that we have seen Grog already. So it's a very valid ban. You kind of want to ban out the Grog when you want an assassin onto your side. So there's a possibility that Zohunt can try to go for an assassin into the jungle here. But first pick coming through, while the Yuzong is already banned, they completely let go of the CC, huh? So the CC can still be a flex. I don't think Skyzen would want to play the CC. It can be onto the hands of Ricky, you never know. But yeah, Dusty kind of also wants to play the Arlot a lot, so maybe they can put into the gold lane. Not the gold, the XP as well.
They can definitely do something like that right now. Honestly, I feel like they can play it into the XP, they can play it into the goal. I mean, these days fighters have been showing up in every single role. But yeah, with that, Kimi getting picked is definitely a mid lane advantage, unless right now Yellowstone decides to go for the Farsa, but instead they go for the Yi right now. I feel like this is also a pretty decent pick, and I've seen a lot. I've seen a couple of games in Mythic Showdown Season 2 already where the Hayabusa was able to completely shut down any Kimi showing up in the opponent's side. So honestly, I am expecting a lot right now from this Kimi to stay safe from the Hayabusa, because I know the reason why they have picked up the Hayabusa is only just to mark down that Kimi and shut down that goal lane, shut down that mid lane snowball that Zohunt might try to get through this Kimi pick here.
Yep, absolutely true. And I think for you, it's more comfortable onto the aggressive mate rather than a passive mate, so that can also work. But the Hayabusa pick coming through from the side of God Kais eventually seal out the deal. And I was about to say that the Hilda might eventually go into the hands of Elu here. That kind of is one of his main hero as well, because he has been finding a lot of momentum with this Hilda, right? And when you see a Hayabusa, the first thing that comes into your mind has to be the Hilda too. So I think it's a very honest picks coming through from the side of Zohunt. I feel like the Lapu might be into the XP side, because I haven't seen Prime onto the Lapu. It's mostly into the hands of Dusty rather, so that can also work, but it still can be a flex, because now that they have the Kimi, they can eventually play out anything here at this point. But the Hylos run coming through and the Ruby also taken away, so they are kind of denying. Yellowstone does know that Prime can be comfortable onto the Ruby as well, but I feel like they can go for a fighter into the goal and let Blade pick up the Yi Shun Shen.
Definitely, Essential is another pick, a very hot pick indeed, and you can go for the fighter, double fighter laning if you are going to pick up the Essential, definitely. But looking at this lineup right now, it actually seems kind of viable to go for that Essential jungle. They already have this Hilda to pressure down on this Hayabusa, so even Yellowstone right now has to adjust their draft accordingly. They need someone who can deal with this Hilda and try to deny the Hilda. Okay, take a look at that. They've banned out the Eastern Shin right now. At
Oh
the
my
same time,
god.
Harith as well getting taken off here. Not really sure about why the Harith was banned. I feel like this is a CC might be going into the gold as well. But yeah, just to make things sure, I guess. But other
Yeah.
than that, it's a pretty solid draft so far. Looking into it, I do feel like that Eastern Shin has been just banned out. So yeah, the possibility of Zohunt going for Eastern Shin is not there. So what else could we, think right now that could show up in the jungle of Zohunt?
Fanny? I mean, Fanny is not something
Yeah,
that's very bad. But the Lancelot is also still there, so the Lancelot is a very, very good option to go against the.
yeah, there it
Okay,
is.
okay. I would like a Fanny, man. Oh, come on. I would love a Fanny. But still, I'm not complaining for the Lancelot because I think a Blade this time around has been more comfortable on onto the Lancelot rather than the Fanny. And I think, if given two options, he will definitely go for the Lancelot. And it's also a very, very good one to go against the Eve too. And, it's kind of hard to counter out the Lancelot in this meta currently. So, Johan, a very good pick coming through. But for Yellowstone, they need to pick out the jungle here, not the jungle, the roam. And is it the CC still a flex or something like that? We'll still got to find out here.
Yeah, definitely. This pick will definitely reveal everything here for pick to plummet. Sorry, Yellowstone. Yeah, I get confused when I look at Skyzen.
Same.
We always have associated
Same, no?
Skyzen with peak to plummet. And here it goes. The
Wow.
draft for Yellowstone is complete.
Wow.
They've taken the Phobius into the EXP lane and CC into the goal, which is a very good option to go for indeed. And now Zohunt, are they going to send this Lapu down to the goal lane where he might be at a disadvantage against the CC, or are they going to pick up another goal lane which can definitely shut down the CC? I feel like this should be the call for a Paquito if they have learned
Oh.
from, of course, their I would say their neighbors. I would say, of course, the 14-year-old kid, right? If they have learned from that guy how to
Right.
play the Paquito, then they can definitely use it right now because I've talked with other casters and what they've said is CC is definitely a hero that can counter to out damage her. But in this case, that is not happening. It seems the adjustments being made as well in real time, and we can see that this is going to be Prime playing the Lapu, so a Lapu goal lane versus a CC goal lane. The Lapu can actually gain advantage, but he has to be really, really precise with those skills.
I was expecting an Esmeralda, to be honest, but I was expecting the Esmeralda into the goal rather than the XP. But then the Foves was picked, right? So the Foves can eventually be countered on to by the Esmeralda. So that is a good change up that Johan are making right now. But one thing I hate about the Kalia is that Fredo, I don't think there's anyone that he can really burst out together because there's no insta burst coming through from the side of Yellowstone. They don't have the Lunox, mind you, and they don't have a marksman either. So Lemonnier might eventually have to be very, very decisive of who he got to get to ult upon. And the fact that Johan will be bringing two purifies onto their side, and Labu Labu already have a purify, and then Hilda doesn't need to go for the purify either. So Lemonnier, I think it's a very questionable pick coming through from him. Kalea really might not be working out, but still, there's still time because they might eventually have a winning gold lane side because there's a Lapu Lapu going against the CC, and I haven't seen either of these two goal laners going for these two picks, so maybe it will be an interesting one.
Man, you just pointed out some very correct things there, Debbie. Like, of course, the Kalea. There is not really a burst on the side of YS, except for the Hayabusa, I should say. So, yeah. Going for those lane pickoffs might work, but going for those jungle pickoffs, where you find an enemy just lurking around and you go after the Hilda, maybe the Esmeralda as well, because you know that the EXP laner is the one usually rotating. So, yeah, if you consider all those things combined, then I feel like there is actually no potential of bursting down a single enemy on the side of Yellowstone except for when Kais is ready with his ultimate. Other than that, from the other side, the Zohunt side as well, like
Yep.
you said, Purify is probably a waste because you're not going to get insta deleted at all. So those were some really good insights that you brought out for us. But now we're heading into the land of dawn. We're going to witness the showdown. Of course, the Mythic Showdown match. Day 4 Swiss stage. It's the 1-0 bracket, the winner's bracket, the one who won in the first one. But now somebody's going to go down here tonight. Is it going to be Yellowstone or Zohunt who is going to face their first defeat in the Swiss stage? We'll find out as we head into this match right now. It's me, Fredo, alongside me is Debbie. And let's start the game. Debbie, what do you think? What is going to happen right now?
Yeah, what's certainly going to be happening is that the mid lane is definitely going to be win away by For You family problem. By the way, with the change up onto the lane, right? He might eventually be getting a lot of momentum here because they'll be able to go for the invade too. Emblem check right away. We're going to be seeing a lot of tankiness coming through from the Phobius Ricky right now, as well as the Kalea too. Lemonnier trying to go in for that cooldown also, so that he'll be able to engage far more than usual. But the fact that there's also a movement speed into the hands of For You, he will be able to rotate earlier than usual, and that is going to be a lot of movement speed coming through from Elu as well. So, it's safe to say that, Fredo, the early game for the turtle will be started easily by Johan because they have a lot of movement speed onto their side. And of course, when you win out to the mid lane as well, that is where the start of the control is going to be, brewing.
Mm-hmm. And okay, here Skyzen is in a very bad position
Wow.
here. He escapes though using the flicker. But man, Lemonnier and Skyzen were trying to take away that creep there, but yeah, it did
Yeah.
take too long for them. They overstayed, and of course the flicker saved them, but that's an important resource down. Lemonnier could fall as well, but oh, he escapes. Blade comes in though, and he takes him down. First blood secured here by Kingblade. And oh my goodness, what is that from Ricky? He wants to go in for the Kimmy, but is that a little bit too much here? No, it seems like he'll be able to take him down inside the tower in a 4v1 situation. He is still surviving, but there comes Godkai with the Oogie Shadow kill. Takes one down, takes two down. There's 4 members down in the first 2 minutes of the game. Zohunt are already behind, but Prime gets a 1v1 in the bot lane. That is a solo kill for Prime on Skyzen.
Wow, the re-engagement coming through from Mr. Ricky, man. You don't usually see onto that Phobos, but Blade might be in trouble.
Oh my god! Got guys with a killing spree. But now there might be one more member getting taken down. Ilu is very, very low. The knockup comes through and there will be another kill. Lemonnier picks it up this time around. And with that, Dusty Mizo also getting chunked down very, very low. The Phobius is a menace right now in the face of Zohunt. They're definitely finding it hard to deal with Ricky.
Oh my god, Ricky is gonna be unstoppable here at this point. 114 is the score, and this guy with the Brave Smite will be able to have a lot of tankiness. But if you talk about the level ranking, Savage Warrior is onto the top because he was there in every team fight, and of course Ricky will be surpassing that. And if you see, it's more mainly into the side of Yellowstone just because of one fight that they took. That was a re-engagement coming through. One fight was not enough.
Skyzen 1 HP! My goodness!
Wow.
Luck could never be better than that for a little boy from Nagaland today. But yo, man, that was really close there. Skyzen should be, of course, praying tonight. But whoa, take a look at that. 1v1 engage. Lemonnier is the one though. So there should not be a lot of problem here for Lemonnier as he's facing Prime. But now, the turtle coming up in the next 30 seconds. Ricky is definitely facing some problems now because of the Esmeralda, right? He's definitely going to get countered because of the shield that comes from that first skill of hers. But with that, let's see who makes the move first for the turtle.
That's definitely going to be a good start if Elu is able to get a security onto this bushes and not let anyone near the turtle here, because this turtle this time around is going to be very important for the side of Zohunt. Damage taken, if we talked about it, it's going to be Ricky, of course, and Elu as well, because they are the main frontliners that we had so far. And of course, Ricky was able to secure onto this dominant eyes already, so that's going to be a hybrid defense that it's going to be having right now. Shadow landing, look at that.
Lot of burst damage coming through. but it's not enough as they have clumped up together and shared it. But now there comes the Tsunami Slam. There is not enough burst, and that's why he will not get taken down. But there comes the Traction Pulse pulling Ricky. Ricky taking a lot of hits. Can he survive? This time around he won't. Ilu will take him down, and there goes one more member down. Lemonair falls as well. Ilu getting taken down. Every single member throwing all their skills. But that's two down for one.
2 down for 1, but still in favor of the side of Zohunt. But they cannot really start onto this turtle just yet because Blade is still unavailable because he was low onto the HP side too. Got Kai's able to get a level 8 already. Still a Blade with level 7. He'll be able to surpass it when he got all of those buffs that he have available. But this turtle, Fredo, is definitely going to be important for both of the teams. It's going to be good for Zohunt if they are able to get this turtle, because that will be equalizing onto the goal lead that Yellowstone have. So that might eventually be that 1v1, Skyzen.
Seems like the engage won't happen. Got Kais, gets that turtle. Blade was actually down towards the bottom side. He did not really try to gank Skyzen either. I don't really know what that move was from Blade now, honestly. But yeah, with that, Skyzen, he's taking a little bit too much damage at the moment. Hiro was trying to give some backup, but it doesn't come true. And with that, still nothing much to speak of. This game, I feel like, is still hanging by a thread. No side has a clear advantage, neither in terms of tower, neither in terms of... I mean, the kills are not really something that actually help you win the game, like everyone says. So yeah, not to say too much about the kills. No towers taken down, no gold advantage either. So I don't really know what these teams are doing. It's already 6 minutes. Actually, I would like to put a little bit of the blame on Yellowstone, because they had that clear advantage in the beginning, but then they came through with a throw. But now Ilu might be getting taken down here. The other comes through as well. Lemonade dealing a lot of damage. Prime from the backside coming in for Skyzen. Skyzen still escapes though using the flicker, but now can the side of Zohunt make a re-engage happen? Doesn't seem to be the case. Dusty Mizo taking a lot of hits. He's forced to use that Purify. Meanwhile, Godspeed is securing some advantage here by taking away that blue buff. But yo, that is something that happens all the time when you have a lot of things running on the screen.
Exactly right. But honestly speaking, I think it's definitely going to be a good one for that. Blade might be able to secure onto this purple buff, so it's going to be giving him a little bit of a level lead. That's absolutely what he needs there, because he was a level behind our god Kais, and yeah, you do not want to be behind against a Hayabusa even when you are on a landslide. I mean, yeah, assassin versus assassin, you got to be ahead on goal and damages as well. So I think this time around, God Kais have found a lot of momentum with the Hayabusa already. If every time he goes for the entrance onto those team fights, he always finds some kill and gets it out. Meanwhile, for Blade, he's more focused onto the objective side as well, and haven't been able to find a lot of kills onto the board. So that is something that he should do. But blue buff gone for the Hayabusa is gonna be very, very bad for God Kais right now. He's gonna be neutralized for at least a minute.
Definitely. Kotkais just got that blue buff, so it's actually, of course, an advantage finally, right? And the thing is, they actually kind of overextended in the bot lane side, because Zohan was not really trying to engage. They were just trying to back off, and that just delayed, I would say, bot some time, and that's why Kotkais was able to get a tower. He was able to get a buff as well. So yeah, finally Zohan are in the lead, but when we dive into the match, I'm really, still wondering what will be the scenario happening at that point. Right now, as we just left the land of Dawn, we just saw Zohan was definitely the one who was leading by a little bit, just a little bit. Some advantage on that macro, but coming in, Yellowstone are, of course, the synergy just seems to be better on the side of Yellowstone for me, Debbie. So I feel like if a proper team fight comes through, then there's definitely a high chance that Yellowstone might be the one taking the lead once again.
I mean, honestly speaking, even though Blade and Ilu, Blade has been in Zohunt for a long, long while before he left for Step Bros or Seoul. I think he has been playing a little longer with the other members of Zohunt before rather than Ilu. So I think it's a new made squad, basically. And I think it's yeah. Marcel was saying one thing like, yeah, that is my dream team that I've been dreaming for Zohan, and now it's happening. But man, they kind of need a little bit of synergy, more like you mentioned, because you got to point stuff out so that they'll be able to learn. If they listen, that is. But yeah, honestly speaking, synergy is lacking just a little bit. But on to the other side, though, I feel like engaging onto Elu is something that you don't really want to do on a Hilda. He's not gonna be dying anytime soon. But the fact that the Lancer Blade is able to get the blue buff is definitely certainly on point here. Level 12 is what he's gonna be reaching now with the blue buff onto his side too. That will be the level he gonna be needing.
Yep, and with that, we are back into the land of dawn, ladies and gentlemen. And we're seeing Zohan still in the lead. So what happened across the break is definitely something that we already discussed about, right? Nothing changed. It's still Zohan in the
Yeah.
lead. So yeah, with that, we're seeing them trying to push down the bottom side. Yellowstone just trying to defend it. Let's see if a fight breaks out here. Oh my goodness, in the top lane as well. A 1v1
1v1?
going on. Boogie Shadow Kill comes through. But my goodness, will someone survive here? Oh my god, nobody goes down. Blade as well as the
What the?
Hayabusa. Mechanics display on top here from both sides. God guys as well as the Blade. King Blade, of course. And man, honestly
The
speaking,
blade. That sounds cool, man. The blade, if we talked about it. But honestly speaking, come on. The first time we had a highlight like this was onto Blade, right? He was on the Hayabusa and he won against
yeah.
the Link too in a 1v1 situation. So it kind of have a flashback. And if he was taken down by God Kai's right there, it would have been an epic one. But he was able to survive. That's a very good one. The Lord is already up, Fredo. And both of the teams are kind of ready for that. But this time around, if we look at the map, Johan is more in favor.
They are going inside the RWM and fighting it through. They want to go all in. Kai is inside the tower. Sky's trying to melt through as well. Prime is taking a lot of hits. There comes Yugi Shadow Kill, and it might be able to take down someone. It's for you that falls. Shut down, secured there by God Guys. And now UIS is pushing through. They want to take down Zohan. Take a look at Ricky. Ricky decides to go for Prime, takes one down as well. And there comes the follow through damage from Blade. Blade trying his best to take down God Guys, but God Guys uses the shadow to go away. And that is just 3 members remaining right now from the side of Zohunt. So it seems like it's the right time for Yellowstone to get that Lord.
Wow, the fight, the turnabout we have seen so far, damage taken, Prime and more. The goal laners are to the top for damage taken. Very, very interesting. But the
Whoa.
Lord is already up to Fredo, and they might eventually be taken down by the side of Yellowstone here yet again. So that not much of an engage coming through for both of the sides. Johan able to not find anything out, of course, the boss. So I think the Lord advantage will be into the hands of Yellowstone right now, but still a little bit of a goal into the hands of Johan. But if we talk about objective wise, this will be all for Yellowstone. They might try to go for an engage. The Lord is not really an evolved one just yet, but they will be able to get the outer
Whoa.
turret.
Wow! Knock-up damage. RWM setting in as well. The Esmeralda goes for the back line, but he's taking a lot of hits all alone. Ricky into the front line and chase someone down. Dusty Mizo could fall here. A lot of damage onto him. He still survives, but there comes Prime from the back line. And Lemonade will be the first member to fall. Ricky is still going in for Blade, and Blade will fall as well eventually. There comes the damage from For You. Lot of damage being done here by this Kimmy. Ricky still surviving a 4v1, and here it goes. He goes down as well. The fight was definitely not worth it here for the side of Yellowstone. They could have done something else. But yeah, that is what happens when you overextend. Oh, seems like King Blade going in once again this time around. The shadows that he has placed is not really good. And here it comes. Dusty Mizo going in. It's a 2v1 situation. He might be going to take it down instead. Skyzen comes through for a backup. And Dusty Mizo will fall. Unfortunately, the gold lane standard will be the one shining through here against the Mizo jungle standard, of course. Man, that guy.
Mizo Jungle in the XP lane.
Yeah,
Really
I mean,
awesome of a meta we have seen right now. But it's completely fine, man. It's completely fine. There was an engage he did not really want to take the steamy though, because yeah, it was actually uncalled for because where everyone was not available onto the map. Looking at the goal difference so far, I think it's definitely gonna be equalized here, more into the hands of Royal rather than Savage Warrior. So I don't think it really matters anymore because the damage coming through from both of the sides is definitely up to the par here. And more engage, the more they engage, the more they will be able to stay into the team fights. But the fact that I was kind of hating out the Kalea, right now I'm kind of digging it because the heal that's coming through from this Kalea is helping them survive for a long time, and there's no potential for you to melt him down. I really want to see if he below the Sky Piercer or not, but I think he should. He should because he's the sole damage dealer right now, and I think it's oh yeah, there we go. He got the Sky Piercer and two War Axes onto the hands of the side of Zohan as well as Yellowstone. So that's a lot of true damage that are gonna be coming through. Fleeting time for Lemonnier, huh? So he wanna go for the engage more and more.
Hmm. Even though he does know, I hope that there is not enough burst anyone down, he still wants to go in for the fleeting time. Of course, I feel like he's just trying to ride on Ricky's back.
Yep.
Ricky just bait them out, bait everything out, bro, and then we'll go in. And probably that's the game plan here. But into the bottom side, Skyzen versus Blade. Someone is definitely trying to make the first move. Let's see who it is. Both the teams are setting up for the Lord. And as you can see on the screen, Esmeralda is still onto the far side. So they do not see the presence. But there
Yep.
comes another engage. But let's see if it is something that will be bringing something good here for. Oh my goodness, take a look at the back line. Dustimizo in a 2v1 right now. He's trying to go for Savage Warrior. He's still going in. And with that, inside the turret, still goes in. Dustimizo, this time, lot of damage being done. There comes a Queen's Wing to save him for the day, it seems. And yes, he will be able to survive it through. But Savage Warrior trying to take a revenge kill or something. Ricky comes in. He goes in for the knockups. He goes in for Infernal Pursuit. Dustimizo still surviving. At the same time, the Lord getting chunked down as well into the middle of it all. It's Lemonnier who falls. Killing spree secured here. God guys will be in trouble. He'll be getting taken down by 4U as well. Zohunt with the clapback. Ricky will fall. Triple kill for 4U. And with that, Zohunt make a comeback once again.
Oh my goodness, that was so good, so manageable for Johan, right? That this was a fight you really want to take, and now they'll be able to grab onto those inhibitors as well if the time fits right. But a good timing. The Lord is also up for grabs. This is gonna be their Lord onto their side, Yellowstone. That was a big mistake that they are taking, and you cannot do any mistake against a team like Johan right now, and they're gonna be prioritizing on everything that they have. The Lord marching into the mid lane, Fredo.
And there comes the Tsunami Slam onto the wrong member. They break through the inhibitor. They want to go in for ending the base. God Kai's using Doogie Shadow Kill in desperation to try and clear lanes. But he gets one kill as well. Skyzen will be the one taking one down. Dusty Mizo getting chased down as well. The side lanes have not been cleared. They're still going in for the engage. It's a 5v2 right now into the mid lane. Skyzen secures a double. They want to go in for one more. Dusty Mizo will fall as well. Ilu still trying to survive through, but Skyzen gets the shutdown on Ilu. It's a triple for the young boy. And with that, they have had a successful defense at the cost of 2 towers, but they take 4 members down.
Oh my goodness, what is happening all across the place? Full bill for God Kais right now onto the Hayabusa. He's gonna be hurting more than usual, and that is something you do not really want to see. And I think Zohan this time around losing out onto their discipline and giving out a shutdown kill onto the hands of Kaizen. Definitely not something you want to do here. 2 members still available for Zohan. Will they be able to defend this?
Oh, they want to go in for Prime, taking a lot of damage right now. Prime is forced to use the Bravest Fighter as well. But guys does not have enough damage to burst down Prime on that Lapu. And with that, oh my goodness, we can see the Esmeralda floating around on the clouds. Of course. And, Lord coming up in 1 minute. And seems like, right now, all that Yellowstone have to do is just defend, I guess, because they have lost 2 inhibitors. That bottom lane side will always be pressured. So before they go for this Lord fight, if they do not take care of that far lane, then Zohan would not waste a single second to go in for the end. So yeah. Yellowstone has to be really careful for that to try and maintain that far lane, because that is exactly the point where Zohan will try to exploit their macro.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true. And now they might eventually go for a little bit of pick off, especially onto the backliners. But here again, the far lane is set up good for the side of yellow. No, it's not Yellowstone. Johan onto the top side. If you focus onto that, Fredo, they are able to set it up so good. So this is actually in favor of Johan. But if you look at the map right now, I think everyone is around scattered for Yellowstone. They might eventually have a better control onto the bushes, but the Lord is up to the top lane, so they can clear it out onto the bottom lane here again and try to focus on setting up for the minions for themselves and not start the Lord very fast. Rich guy for the moment. It's going to be God Kais onto the Hayabusa everywhere, all over the place. He was able to get all the farms here and there, and of course onto the minions as well. So that guy, it's not shocking that he was able to get a lot of gold onto his hands and get the full damages done. And also the sandbag for the other side is gonna be Dusty Mizo onto this Esmeralda, so he's gonna be a little bit more tankier than usual. But yeah, I think he was able to survive a lot of pickly situation that he was already in. But still, it's not the end. This might eventually be the last slot that we are going to be seeing for both of the teams.
Yep, and as you were saying, Mizo is definitely taking a lot of hits, but the one who is dealing the most amount of damage in this match is actually not on the side of Yellowstone as expected because they do not have anyone to dish out the DPS that they require. Savage Warrior is probably the one dishing out the most damage, but the one who is dishing out the most damage out of everyone is the Kimi. And that just
Uh-huh.
speaks clearly for us that you cannot really leave that Kimi open because if you give
Mhm.
it away, then if you're not having a fire, so if you're not really zoning out that Kimi, then in those fights she's always going to stack up that passive and just keep hitting you. And if you do not have radiant armor, then you're definitely going to get melted down before everyone else. And that's the reason why even Ricky as well, even though in the early game he was dominating, after Kimi just got some of his items, it's not really comfortable anymore for Ricky to be up front
Mhm.
as well. Even with the radiant armor, the fact that For You already has that divine glaive is definitely causing problems here because the damage is piercing through with that penetration. So right now, if anything, then it's going to be Yellowstone who need to make a desperate move here because if they do not, then this Lord is definitely not going to be an easy one for them to contest.
Yeah, definitely not. So they have to set up for the long lanes, especially for the side of Johan, because they are the one with the advantage onto this turret so far, because they still have two inhibitors left, and it's defendable because it's the long lanes. And
Yep.
for the Yellowstone side, it's the mid lane already open, right? It's already exposed as well as the bottom lane, so they need to have a good setup. Immortality bought away by Lemonier already. Meanwhile, for Elu as well. But there hasn't been a little bit of a defense coming through from the side of Johan, so they need to be
Mhm.
very, very careful. War X into the hands of God Kais, man. This dude, he wanna stay into the team fights long while. But look at the position of Lemonier though. He is trying to go look for a pickoff before they start the Lord, which is gonna be the Evolve one.
Mm-mm. And they're definitely looking for an advantage for I would say information right now because Ilu is just scouting out
Mm,
the bushes. He's trying to buy some information so that he can help his teammates make the
yeah,
decision. Do we go for the Lord or do we wait to get some
yeah.
information? And that is exactly why the Lord dance has begun. And Zohan are the ones who have started it. At the far lane, though, you can always see that Kaizen is going to be the one on the far lane trying to push
Mm.
push those minions down because that Farlane is exposed already. Lemon here
Oh,
comes through. Oh my god, once again initiation comes through, but take a look at Dusty Mizo. He's always going in for Savage Warrior.
oh,
The Artisan gets cancelled. God Kai is already falling down. Ricky still trying to go in for
Ricky,
2v3 right now. But
Picker.
Skyzen come through. Lot of damage being done. But Dusty Mizo soaks up everything that is being thrown at him. He jumps through the wall as well. Skyzen still trying to chase them through. But
Wow.
with that, the members are very low. Zohan will back off, and so will Yellowstone.
Wow, I would say it could have been in favor of Yellowstone if Skyzen was there. But man, Dusty Mizo was nearer than Skyzen, and the fight was so much in favor of Zohan right now. Ricky, without the jungle, they might not go for the contest. They can be
Yeah.
melted down.
Yep, and that's why Skyzen trying some desperate moves here. And oh my god, seems like Ricky, you can go in right now. But yeah, here it comes. There comes the Infernal Pursuit. But Blade will be able to escape. Who will get this Lord?
Lord!
Oh, Blade still comes through with that retribution. And they're able to secure the Lord. For you getting chased down here. But Ricky, can he do it right now? Oh my goodness, take a look at Skyzen as well. He's trying to go in for the yo-yo blitz, but that's a desperate move. Shutdown secured here. Do the side of Yellowstone not realize what's happening? The Lord is marching down the mid lane. They still want to fight. And Link, look at the top lane as well. My goodness, so many things to deal with. But the thing that they want to do first is go for the skills.
Man, chaos is the name of the game, certainly. When there's Zohunt, there's gonna be chaos. But it is not the side of Zohunt who brought the chaos. It is Yellowstone. They wanted that fight, but they are gonna be losing out onto the inhibitors. The top lane is gonna be exposed right now. The Lord will be cleared out onto the base here. But still, the base is the only thing standing right now for Yellowstone. They cannot risk losing out this Lord this time around, and I feel like they know the problem coming through from the side of Zohunt here. It's gonna be for you. For you has to die. He got the Holy Crystal right now,
Oh my
full build,
God.
concentrated. He's gonna be hitting a lot, man, and I think most of the time God Kai's wasn't able to handle all the damage coming through from for you. And then again, Blade with the damage also, he'll be able to grab out onto this Queen Swing, another defensive item that we'll be having right now. Gold ranking still into the hands of God Kai's, and Blade will be the follow-up as well as for you too. But the thing is, this time around, Fredo, full build all of the players right now, so the goal will not be mattering. And the build up, I think, yeah, I saw this Testai Pauldron into the hands of Elu though. That's a good defense.
Yes, that's actually a good item. But what I'm gonna complain here about is Lemonade. Why is he still holding on to the fleeting time? Because I
Yeah,
mean, if you take a look at all the engages, if you just try to remember all the engages that he has done, it has not really worked out because instantly the fact that you are the initiator, you engage through, and when it is not a pick off, when it's a team fight, that's when just Dusty Mizo just comes through with that falling star moon and he immediately displaces Savage Warrior. If the RWM
yeah,
gets cancelled, where is your main source of damage? It has to be Skyzen. Once again, they take fight. This time
ooh,
around, the RWM is not going to be cancelled, and Ilu will be the one falling. 5 members. That is exactly what Lemonade should have done so many minutes back. But yo, finally, probably, hearing my words or just some omen through my words, I would say he has some good luck
yeah.
right now working in his favor. But even with the fact that they have 5 members against 4, the
Mhm.
lanes are not really helping Yellowstone go for this Lord.
Yeah, absolutely true. And they engage.
Coming in with the Purify for you escapes. But let's see what happens this time around. The Stimizo getting chased down as well. They go through
Right?
with that Oogie Shadow kill. And there comes Skyzen with the kill. Oh my goodness. Take a look at it. Lapu Lapu as well. He will fall through as well. And now Zohan can try to end the game, but they do not have the minions once again.
Oh my goodness, there was a good engage coming through from the side of Yellowstone. What is this game? Come on. Every setup has been made by both of the teams, and that was a lot of good pickups coming through from Yellowstone. And I feel like, we understand who practiced a lot and who doesn't. Well, I'm not shading, but the Lord is the Wolflord right now, 24-minute Lord, and will be into the hands of Yellowstone. But it's still defendable, Fredo, because the fact is that Yellowstone, they don't have inhibitors left, and meanwhile the Lord will be here. All of the members of Johan might eventually be spawning too, and they have the clearance with the Kimi as well as the Lancelot. So that those two will be the most important factor now. Blade and for you, they shouldn't die. Gold defense, so it's gonna be into the hands of Yellowstone mostly because we were the one having the perfect momentum with the Lord as well. That was the Lord advantage that they have right now.
At this
6k
point,
gold lead.
it doesn't really matter. What matters is those
Mm,
items. Let's see who has those immortality, on them right now because those immortalities will be getting popped off. Winter crowns as well. And if you take
yep.
a look, you can see already that, oh my goodness, on the side of Yellowstone, they have not really bought any immortality or the winter
Uh-huh.
crowns yet, except for those frontliners. Man, I'm really hoping to see some of those because I mean those are the clutch items that will help you dodge those enemy skills because you know that Dusty Mizo is once again going to go in for a Savage Warrior, right? And at the
Yep.
same time, they're trying to push through the bottom side. At the same time, take a look at the top lane as well. God Kais versus Dusty Mizo. They break through the bottom one. Now they're going in for the mid lane. The brawl is about to break out.
Ricky, I
And
think
with
he's
that,
trying
the
to go in
engage
for more.
comes through.
Oh,
Oh,
Take a look at God, guys. He's still trying to dance with the shadows. And there comes the Lancelot as well. Dusty Mizo taking a lot of hits. Might get taken down here. Oogie Shadow kill comes through. Lot of immortality is being popped off here as well as the mega kill. But the shutdown secured here by Savage Warrior will help them break through their base. He comes in with a double. Skyzen supports him and they break in the base of the Zohunt and they secure the game versus Zohunt in this BO1.
Peak gameplay by Yellowstone, pun intended. That was amazingly well done. Draft was in favor of Zohunt, but what will draft do when you have a better synergy? And that was what Yellowstone were bringing onto the table. A lot of damage that they already built up, and whatever sets they were making. Full build Savage Warrior onto the Eve. I think it's safe to say that Eve is also a scaling kind of hero because, of course, he got the Ice Queen already. He got the damages. He got the items that he deemed necessary. There we go. He will be the player of the match, Mr. Savage Warrior onto the Eve. 81% kill participation, Fredo, and he got a lot of damage into his hands. Late game was all his.
Honestly, this guy has been, of course, one of my favorite mid laners. I would say the most underrated ones, of course, among all the underrated ones, the most favorite. Of course, Asuna is there, Bid is there, but of course, people do not talk a lot about Savage Warrior. But tonight, the night is his. The lights are on him tonight because he is, of course, the MVP of the match. And, of course, coming through with that 715 KDA. And if you take a look at the goal as well, his goal was not really behind. But what is most important about this match is the damage that was dealt. Savage Warrior, right? I mean, he was the main source of damage because you know that Skyzen was always there going to the far lanes because Phobia was always the one in the team fights. You know that Hayabusa has to be there because he is, of course, going to be the finisher. You know that Skyzen cannot be in those team fights. He has to clear those lanes because, of course, Phobius is going to be in the team fights as well. The Kalia is also going to be there. But who is going to be the main source of damage? It's, of course, going to be Ricky going front first, Savage Warrior coming in with the follow through, and that's how they went in for the team fights, and of course they won it. So yeah, gotta give credit here to Savage Warrior for maintaining a very good position despite Dusty Mizo. Every single team fight, you know that this guy was after Savage Warrior.
Absolutely true, and I think it's also one of the factor that we have seen Blade onto the Lancelot, right? And the Lancelot is the best hero to use against an Eve, and he died once the whole game. 25 minutes, almost 26. We were in the game, and he died only once, and that is saying a lot. Looking at the player head to head, Skyzen, oh my goodness, the new goat versus the veteran, I would say for Prime. I think they are onto both fighters, and I feel like they have been out there, but this is not the basic marksman. So, but on the other hand, for the jungle side, I think Hayabusa, I think God Kais was doing a lot better than Blade, I would say, because he was going for a crucial pickoffs and he was able to find good every time he goes for it. But meanwhile, for the mid laners here, both are the carries for both the teams. They have all the damages done, and I think for you have more damage than Eve, than Savage Warrior, because from the start, Kimi was there, all available in every places. But that was what the carry were like, and onto the late game as well. Lemonnier, the setup he has always been doing was perfectly on point, and Hilda until the late game became completely useless.
Exactly. Hilda is one of those heroes that shines way too much in the early game, especially when she's invading those jungles with her teammates. But the moment she falls off is the mid game where the enemy gets those items. Her regen does not really work too much. Of course, she's not like the Esmeralda, whose regen just keeps getting better as the game goes on. She's more like uh, I would not. I mean, she's more like the Hilda. I would say, yeah. Of course, no other hero that compares to her, which is a healer. But she, I mean, not a healer, but the one who sustains a lot, but falls off in the late game. So yeah, she's one of those. Just like you can say the Martis. I would say the same kind of the Martis falls off in the late game, the same way the Hilda does. But man, the rich guy, he had 790 GPM. Not the most optimal, I would say, but still decent enough. But man, take a look at the way Dusty Mizo was taking all that damage, and even for you as well, I feel really bad for them tonight.
That's what. He was doing everything since the start, man. The damages that he was able to output, that was onto the Kimi as well. I think he deserved all of this, and I feel like he was also the MVP onto the losing side, to be honest, because he got a lot of damage already. And of course, it was a team fight already. MOBA, it's 5v5 after all. The better setup is gonna be better here, and we talked about how much of a damage lack was there onto the side of Yellowstone. But when the game comes, it doesn't really matter. Whatever sets you're gonna be making, they'll be able to perform well. And we could see when Elu was engaged upon by Lemonade, that he was instantly taken down. There wasn't a way for him to go away, even with the help of the steals. That was where the start of the win for the side of Yellowstone came through. And whenever pick off that they were looking for, it's definitely on point. And mind you, pick off gameplay together with a crowd control gameplay, I think pick off's gameplay are better. It's like it's more difficult, and the decision is gonna be very, very necessary. You have to have a good micromanagement as well. And this was all good into the hands of Lemonade. I feel like it's he's been doing so well onto those team fights.
And with that, announcing about the giveaway, of course. If you want to know
Okay.
if you are one of those winners, then the interesting part about this giveaway is we won't announce it here anymore because we want you to join the Discord server and find it out yourself.
Wow.
So yeah, make sure you join the Discord server because the giveaway winners will be announced on the Discord server. The Discord server link is already there into the description, so just check it out. Join the Discord server and follow all the channels, and you'll be able to find out soon if you are the winner of the giveaway or not. So yeah, with that, of course, 10 winners going to be here tonight. 1,000 diamonds giveaway. And that was the end
Wow.
for the second round. 1-0 was over. I mean, today, 0-1 was over yesterday. So tomorrow, we proceed for, of course, the next round of the Swiss stage, where we'll be seeing BO3s happen as well as BO1s. But for that, to find out who will be matching up against each other, you do want to tune in on the you do not want to miss out on the Discord server, guys. Everything
Okay.
happens on the Discord server. We'll be doing the live draw in front of your eyes, and you can find out if you are going to see your team play against a team that you want them to defeat, or are you going to see some other team match up against each other. The interesting matchups already happened in the first round as well. I mean, not many people were there to witness the draw, but the Sacred Shrine versus Soul matchup just brought out, oh my god, in the comment sections of the Discord server. So yeah, you do not want to miss out on that hype if you do not want to. So yeah, just join the Discord server, guys. That's all I'll say. And with that, the end of the night is finally here, but tomorrow once again we'll be back in the land of dawn with action on the Mythic Showdown season 2. So yeah, make sure you join the Discord server and stay tuned on all the updates on there. And with that, we'll be back tomorrow. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.